Hello, everyone.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh my god, we're on
Whoa.
a couch.
Yeah, I know. I slapped together a real quick little background for
This is really funny, actually.
this.
I
Why is
like
it really
this.
funny?
It's so goofy.
Well, yeah, I think
We
that's
should change the
the.
title from episode 24 to episode 23.5.
There's always
The
a
supplemental.
point 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The supplemental.
I'm gonna put the chat over here, so it's not like
What's up,
hidden.
potato?
I did throw the panty satchel is updated. It's just sitting on the ground over there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm growing
I think
holes.
it's funny.
It's so good. I have a separate
You
area
say
for
you're growing holes?
Yeah, hang on.
growing
Let me make it a little more obvious here.
Fuck
Make
does
it
that
really
mean?
yeah. Throw it in the background like the sky.
I
Okay.
I have my separate area for my beloved party members' panties because they mean
Oh!
a lot to me.
I love that ours have like a little sticker on them, like a little tag.
Well,
I
it's
also
gonna
like that
go.
my name's embroidered on the thing, like your
backwards
away
too.
camp clothes.
I know, right?
Put your name on the.
Okay, so I'm missing something. Yeah, all right. So, hi chat, welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. The short and sweet version is my water heater died pretty much right before we were gonna have session, so I kind of had to deal with that. And these wonderful streamer friends and players of mine opted to push it out a little bit, and then we started talking about making it into a chit chat episode, and then Sunny almost died, and then now we're here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice recap.
Yep.
See, natural 20 recap. I got you.
But today would have been like the 24th episode anyway, which marks pretty close to 6 months. Technically, the 26th episode is exactly half a year if we're going by how many weeks are in a year, but so I don't know. It's probably time for a recap and to talk about everything that's gone down and how we're feeling and our characters and what we designed them to be versus what they turned into, how they're holding steady, how they've changed. I don't know. Good
So
stuff.
this is a great time for the audience to ask questions about the characters too.
True. This is an AMA.
This is couch time AMA. 26 weeks of great one shots.
Actually, it was simply a 4-week tutorial. It just got extended a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, let's keep doing this. This is kind of fun.
Bunch of goobers.
And then we went, you're ours now, Mr. DM.
We licked it, it's ours.
Exactly.
You've simply been kidnapped for wife date night on a weekly basis.
Yeah, you're hosting wife date night is essentially what it is.
Honestly, yeah, but it's a great time. Like you guys do some unhinged and loving things.
Yeah.
Not necessarily at the same time.
What's everyone's favorite thing about the DM? I love his storytelling. Like the way he writes things or even just comes up with descriptions on the fly is so immersive. On top of the voices that he does, like he full commits and it's really funny.
The voices are funny.
Remember the fucking turtle?
Oh my god, the turtle.
Captain Patch.
And remember the Canadian like Mickey Mouse? That was fucking crazy.
I mean, we can always bring him back.
I like DM's like creative brain. You think of some very creative things.
You guys are really
like
really
some of the
sweet.
monsters and stuff. I'm just like, how did you think of that?
Giant crabs.
Yeah, like
giant crabs. I'm still waiting for that giant. Like, actually, no, I'm not waiting for the giant goose because you built it into the like the internal world when we played D&D inside of D&D, and you dropped the big ass goose. That was good. No joke.
That was a good time.
Left untouched.
I can't wait till you have to go and play another round of D&D, but it's better because it got funded.
Yeah, huge. Let's go.
Oh.
Actual lore.
Sunny, what do you love about Mr. DM?
Everything, because I am amazing. No.
True.
So true. Actually, yeah. Um,
Sonny likes to scare me, honestly.
that's true. I like to scare Mr. DM a lot. It's probably my favorite pastime, in all honesty. I like the fact that he actually adapts with his players.
Ooh,
True.
that's a good one.
He needs
Instead of
more
just
than that.
instead of being like, no, this is how it's going, and us being like, "Aw, but Dad," and instead gives us children like Joe, and you know,
Right.
Bro,
is fine
Joe.
with accidentally becoming a player in the campaign that he's running. And actively DMing.
The fact that y'all just grabbed and kept Joe is fucking
I mean,
wild
I
to me.
handcuffed myself to him.
You literally
Oh, that's
did.
true. You did.
He was trying
Yeah,
to
I
leave,
did.
and you're like, no.
No.
All the
I
rolls.
was like,
It was all
we
rolls,
we
though.
force it. Yeah, true.
I can't imagine him not being in the party still. Like if he would have
Yeah.
left in that moment, everything would be so different.
I would have
Yeah.
cried, but my character
Yeah.
would have understood, but I would have been devastated.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Like Liari would have been like, "Yeah, man, that's your choice," but Banana would have been like, "I hate everything. I'm throwing a tantrum now.
My son.
My son."
He's so intrinsic into the story at this point. Like, he has an entire line of lore and quests and goals now. And I love
That's
him.
so cute.
He's
Yeah.
adorable. And he's so dumb. And he rolls so bad. My God.
He does, and it's great. I kind of love that.
Only Joe. It's always Joe. He always rolls bad. It's not intentional, but it's so perfect.
Right. No, literally, this whole campaign, it has felt like the dice know. More so than anything else I've ever done. Like, and I take a lot of ones to the face as well,
You
but it's
really
always
do.
for the sake of like plot just happens
Well-
around it. And I don't know if that's because we're rolling with the punches or what, but like the dice have felt so perfect. Even including like last week, when we go to roll the history recap and we were literally going to fudge it so that I had to do it to buy Shy time. And I rolled so dog shit low. I rolled a 3. And we were like, Shy, you have to roll a 1 or I'm going to delete it and roll again. And Shy rolls a 3 but has a -1 on it. So organically, the
so
dice
good.
just gave us what we needed, which is absurd. That is, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yep. Nope, the dice know. The dice know everything.
Dice
and
know.
I gotta say, yes, I also love the Mario Thulam situation, and Barry walks so Joe could fly. Absolutely. Barry was a great time. We love Barry.
And then we had another one. Favorite moment or quote?
Oh. Favorite
there's too many
moment.
for
I
me to
gotta think
think.
on this. Hang on.
One of my favorite quotes have come from this D&D.
Fuck Barry.
Because we used to say the most
What?
outrageous shit sometimes.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
so mid. What's the quote that really got you going there, Shy?
My first thought was just thinking about how Pyre started a cult.
Like
Twice!
second time.
Twice! Have you
Tee.
explained this in character yet?
No.
No, because technically speaking, like Pyrie knows, but like doesn't quite grasp the fact that she did those things. Like she helped the original cult leader and stuff that like or person who like ended up creating the cult back home for her, but she didn't give a fuck. So like
Right,
she
yeah.
just had like a whole thing with him. So she probably wouldn't have thought about it or anything or really cared. So it wouldn't be until someone like asked her and be like, yeah, I think that happened. Like she wouldn't there wouldn't be anything there like, oh yes, I started a cult once. It'd be a oh yeah, that happened. That's really it. She wouldn't really register that at all.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like no spoilers here, but I have been working very hard to develop the Pyrie lore that Pyrie doesn't necessarily know, and it's beautiful. And I
I'm so
cannot wait
excited.
for it to be revealed.
I'm so excited.
So on that
I'm
note,
excited. Never mind, let's play a session.
favorite moments. Who else has favorite? I gotta think of mine because you know what? No, I know mine. I know mine when I realized exactly how unhinged my players were. I think I'm gonna pick
Oh,
one for each of you, but the one that comes to
oh
mind is
god.
Pyrie fucking dehorning and tailing the tiefling woman.
Yeah, I stole her teeth, I stole her horns, and I think I cut off her tail.
Yep, teeth, horns, and tail, and you turn the horns into
Yep.
fucking mugs, canteens,
Yeah.
Yeah, recently. He came
bro.
back
And that was a
around.
recent
Mhm.
development. I was trying to think about what I could do with them because I was just like, I feel like these are too big for the things that I would normally do or that Pyre would normally do with like creature bones and stuff. Just like slightly too big. And I'm like, wait a minute. We discussed this before. I have some funny kits and stuff. I can do some funny things. What if Drinky Horn?
What if
Yeah.
Keyhorn?
Yep.
Bro. So
Horn, I
anyway,
need
yeah,
photos of
that's
that.
my favorite for Pyrie. I gotta think of one for Mads and one for Liari's
Oh,
still.
I have one for Leari. Whenever we
Oh,
went into that mansion and you were stuck in there with what's his name in his bed, like in his bedroom,
Oh
and then
yeah.
all the things that transpired, the bad rolls, and you being stuck in there for what felt like forever. And then you tied him up and left him there.
Fucking so good, honestly.
I was like, don't worry, guys, I got this. And I opened the session with, so I'd like to strip him naked and tie him up and throw him in his bathtub
And you did.
and blindfold
You
him.
did.
And then you left him there like that.
I thought his people would find him. I didn't think
And
his
then he
people were
went
gonna
missing.
steal him.
And you guys
And now
still
he's
have
missing.
no idea what happened to him. And I love that.
Nope.
Nope.
None.
He's just
And then
gone.
we set the town on fire. So who the fuck knows?
My
Oh, true, we
question
did
is,
do
how
that.
much do you guys care?
Not a
Not
lot.
really.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But he's around. He's doing stuff.
Is he?
He's maybe.
I just
He's
assume everyone's
he's
fucking
not.
dead, bro.
He's. I mean, I guess I already said it. But yeah, he's around. He's somewhere.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
imagine he's the same somewhere as everybody else that disappeared.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people were talked about and introduced and are just gone.
Feel like you're referencing something there.
Oh,
For
maybe.
me, I don't know. A lot of Mads moments are standing out in my mind, honestly.
Scary
Because,
dog
like,
privilege.
Scary dog privilege.
We have scary dog privilege with Mads.
You
That's-
really do, honestly.
that's so funny.
She does the grrr, and it's Mads used scary face, and it was effective.
I know, but that doesn't always work in our favor. Because remember in the beginning when Mads tried to smile at the police and then they started chasing her down?
Oh god, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, you were getting chased by the cops. Pyre was chasing a slaver as a cat. And Liari was chasing
I
another
was over rooftops, Assassin's
slaver.
Creed style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Larry had a whole moment. It was great.
You had a whole anime moment.
I was going.
So
I
good.
mean, I remember we were like having issues like how to get the right speed of what Pyre was in cat form and
Yeah.
chasing the individual.
You gotta do the math, man. We gotta figure it out.
hmm
Yeah, this game is math. But yeah, no, for me, it's like the memes, I guess, that come from all of us, but specifically like the Mads carrier. Like how we wanted a carrier to throw Mads in, so it's
Oh my
strapped
God.
in like a baby, but not like a baby because you would hate that. And then also that one clip, I think it was like our first clip from forever ago where it was Mads and Liari discussing whether or not Mads could swim. And that was gonna be my favorite quote was like
I grew
you
up
said
on the
something about, like,
streets.
cauliflower.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing you go with?
I couldn't think of anything except for cauliflower. for some reason.
I don't know, I can sink or I can float like cauliflower. Cauliflower.
I just know cauliflower floats. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Which is
Dude,
such
and
a
then my
funny
response-
fact to know.
Such a random. It was like the only thing that came to my brain too. I look back on that clip now and I'm just like, what the fuck was I on?
No, but I
that's
love that
D&D.
because
Yep.
that banter has
Yep.
stayed. Because even last episode, me and your like silent banter of like, well, you don't want to just cut the finger off and put it back on?
Bro.
I don't know if I can put it back on. What do you mean you don't know if you can put it back? You've been cutting off fingers this whole time.
I've been
Put
cutting
them
them
off,
off,
I don't
not
put them
putting them back.
But you're a cleric. I'm a grave cleric. I don't
I
know,
don't know
what that means.
It's such a good fucking clip. I love that clip. Bleach said that over and I was dying.
Oh,
Thank you
Bleach, you
for
did such a
editing
good
that,
job.
Bleach.
It was so
That
good.
shit was really funny.
Yeah, I gotta post that one. I gotta post all the clips, but I think out of all of the newer ones, that one's my favorite for sure. Which,
That one was
speaking
so
of,
fucking
welcome in,
funny.
Bleach.
The pause with Banana with like, I don't know what that means. It was so funny.
It was really funny because when I was trying to watch it too, my internet was being shit, and so it kept having to stop and like load. So in between the panning to the other person, it was like slow-mo panning because it was loading so slow, made it fucking 10 times funnier.
Dude,
That's awesome. I love that.
Just the
Did everyone
slow-mo
go?
of I don't know how to put them back on.
That's so
No.
good.
you know, okay, I think my favorite bits for Liari is how the dice despise you sometimes when you're hitting on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
The dice
also like the
almost
fact
turned
that-
me into an alcoholic right off the bat. Like my character's story almost
so
just beeline left turned. Like
I like
could've been
when Mads cock blocked you. I thought that was really funny.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That was great.
and then she disappeared. I'll never get that. pussy.
And now she's gone.
And then Mads said, "We're burning this town, so I don't have to deal with this again."
That was
My other favorite part with that whole thing was when I accidentally sold you out to your other. You were also having a fling with. I had totally forgotten.
So I keep track of how many booty calls you have.
It's true. I can't keep
Need a
track.
fucking calendar for this shit.
Just assume I fucked everybody. It's easier.
easier to find out who you haven't slept with. Got it.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's a man, you can assume didn't happen.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, I haven't had a
flirting,
single
no
guy yet.
nothing.
The funny thing
No.
is that I did not intentionally make my character gay. She's
Oh, I thought you
technically
Really?
a man. No,
that's-
yeah, she's Pan, but like it just hasn't happened with okay. The first guy I tried to hit on wasn't having it. That was the bartender. And then every person past that has been more or less associated with work. And when
Okay.
that happens, Liari gets very like hard focused on like, no, this needs to be done type of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we're either in work mode or we're in play mode. There's no in between, but it is a light switch, right? So it just hasn't worked out yet. She's very gay now because it's been all women.
Yeah,
I
all women.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought you were just projecting, and I thought you were.
I legitimately thought you were just gay
Oh, okay.
at this point.
Yeah, just thought you were gay.
Did not make the correlation that you were not. So I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
This is fun. I like this.
We're learning so much.
No, why would I be projecting when this character is low-key so hard for me to play because I don't know how to be a fuckboy?
You do a really good job. Some of
Thank
the things you
you.
say, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how are they able to say that
Oh, I'm dying
without
all the
laughing
time.
or anything, you know? Because like sometimes I can't say anything because I keep laughing. I can't get through it.
I try and make it a point too to address everybody at different points, so like you're kind of forced to talk a little bit,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which I think
I
is
appreciate
very
that.
entertaining.
It's good, and everyone gets a chance, you know.
Mm-mm. Man,
I love that the longer we're here, the more the screen fills up.
Oh, I'm glad somebody's noticed.
Yeah.
I
I love
every
Joe
time I
standing in
click
the
over, I
background.
just see additional things like popping in. The
I'm just
sky has changed a few times, I think.
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
adding
Mhm.
shit randomly.
It sure has. Yeah. We're just
I see that. We're just vibing. It's fine.
I'm noticing.
Exactly. If everyone talked about their favorite moment or quote, our next thing is who had
Wait,
the best
okay.
kill.
No. A moment that I highly enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
was when I got to wrestle a snake trying to peel its skin off
Oh,
against
Jesus
Larry,
Christ.
and I still won the fucking skin.
I know. We were 2v1ing you and you won.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't roll.
It's really funny the amount of fucking just high rolls that I get in general across D&D period.
Yeah,
It's
you
Yeah.
just very funny to me.
you
D&D,
have
Baldur's
some
Gate.
luck.
Mhm. It's insane.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of
Mhm.
silly.
It's very funny, very silly.
All good stuff.
Accidentally made Pyre OP by just rolling really high on
Right, like it almost doesn't matter what your stats are because you just roll 20s.
Right.
Stats don't matter.
Stats don't. Apparently, I have
Anytime
learned.
that anytime Pyre has a chance to roll nature, I think it is, I know it's gonna be like 20 or above.
No, literally.
Teehee.
The plants. Oh, that's a quotable quote.
Plants!
The
Oh
plants.
man,
That's a good
the
one.
plants. Such a
Yeah,
good
the
one.
plants, man. It's always the plants. I'm still mad that I don't have my fucking plants.
I am also upset that you don't have your plants because those were
I want to
important.
I know they're important. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them back, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yep,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep. When I get those plants, it's over for you bitches.
The plants.
True.
The snack took
The
Hannah's
plants.
lick confirmed.
What?
Yeah, my lick. Blah, 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 blah. Luck. They're saying you took my luck
Luck?
because you have all
Oh.
20s, I have all ones, and Mads is so mid. Another quotable one.
I know, I said that earlier.
So mid.
I think that might be my favorite Mads quote. It's not even like a Mads quote, it's just a shy quote.
I'm so mid. Why are we Cthulhuing?
Oh, I don't know. I'm literally just looking up random shit and shoving it in.
I love that for you.
Like I'm having
That's
a
a great
time.
time.
I'm having a time.
I'm glad you're having a time. I'm not gonna lie, I opened Minecraft in the background so I can yap and wiggle around.
Oh yeah, we're just
Perfect.
yapping. There's no worries here.
Yeah.
This is
Yep,
a
yep, yep.
episode.
Episode?
A episode.
I got a good question.
Okay.
Oh.
What was your favorite fight that we had to do?
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, that's
Favorite
fair because that'll
combat.
lead into who has the best kill. Yeah. We can
Yeah,
combo
yeah.
it. Honestly, oh, go ahead.
My favorite was when we fought a whole bunch of those guys in that warehouse, like when they were carting off the slaves into the ship, and Pyrie was like miles away setting it on fire, and me and
Yep.
you were trying to fight off like
Yeah.
6 or 7 guys at the same time.
I also like that I
So
thought that there
true.
was more people to fight in the room than there was. I thought it was like us v 15, and then Bull was like, no, like more than half of those are slaves. I was like, God, I wish I had known that.
We
I
were
was being
learning.
stealthy like this whole time because I thought we were gonna get slaughtered, which we were, but for a different reason.
Right. I'm so
No,
surprised
that
you
fight
guys
became
lived
so
through that.
doable. I was like, oh, sick. Amazing.
Yeah, I thought the session was done after that.
Well, great short sessions, guys. Bye.
I thought the party was gonna die for sure.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna have to get recarnated back into the story somehow.
Honestly, it's a bit of just learning how you all think and like what I think you'll end up doing too, because that does make an adjustment
Right.
in what'll happen. So, like for example, that fight, I didn't expect Fiery to leave, and that's fine. I'm happy Fiery left because other things happened and it was very entertaining and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So that's a different option. But like then you look at, say, I don't know, the crab fight, which is my favorite up to this point, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where y'all were, no, why would you leave? There's no reason to go anywhere else except maybe chase the crabs underwater, which is a different situation.
I sure did try. I was like, where'd it go, Mr. DM? And I saw God, and God told me that it was gone. I was like, okay.
But yeah, that'd probably be it. I think that one was my favorite because we left off on the wings, and
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like you guys
yeah.
were losing it a little bit, and that makes me happy.
That was fun.
Who
I
else
don't
got a
know. I
favorite
like
fight?
all the combats for different reasons because I feel like we're learning as we go still. Like, one, learning as players, and two, learning our characters and becoming more comfortable with our kits and trying different stuff, especially the magic users. My
Right.
combat doesn't look any different. I couldn't make it look different if I tried. The only time it looked different when finally there was a scenario where I could use my green flame. It's never once like nobody has ever grouped up. None of the enemies have ever grouped up in a way where that would have been beneficial to me to do until we were in the hut with Ethel's hut or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Hazel, Ethel,
Ethel's
I don't
hut.
remember.
I love that you said Ethel because that's absolutely kind of who I was basing it on. Because of course, and also I almost said Ethel so many times during those situations, and I was like, no, it's not Ethel.
I just called her that nasty bitch, so I don't know. I'm doing
Yeah,
my
Auntie Ethel,
best.
because they had to fight a hag. It was a great time.
Yeah. So I was glad that I finally got to use that, but other than that my combat all looks the same. But I'm still honestly going to say that first fight, that probably wasn't even intentionally a fight, but it was we all walked into the store. Some slavers walked into the store. I was going to attack them cuz I hate them. And then they just jumped in and were like, for varying reasons of they were being dicks and everybody hates people when they're being a dick and everyone's trying to do their own thing. So it's like, fuck off. We fight that and no one made it out of that fight alive. And I'm a big fan of that. My final shot there, I'm going to combo that into like my favorite kill. My final shot when I step into the doorway and pull out my bow and like just kill him on the way out as he's trying to run.
Oh
Big fan.
yeah, I remember
fan.
that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
I also enjoyed riding the crab, but that was kind of more, it was a haha funny.
Ayo? But
I
yeah.
like when there's no survivors in combats. But I understand the point of them running away, and I understand, like, but
Right, yeah, like, I mean, if they're intelligent enough to hold a conversation, they're intelligent enough to go, oh shit, we aren't gonna win.
we're dying.
Yeah, and they're gonna run, right? Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Shy, I think you have a problem with Dr. Pepper.
I can
That's
stop
accurate
whenever I want.
representation.
I just don't want to.
Why?
I just don't want to, man.
Just don't.
I just don't want
to.
What
Why
about you
would
guys?
you want to?
Yeah, common sense in NPCs is a thing because it makes sense, right? Like they're not gonna stick around. Stop auto-correcting. Auto mod. Or it's
Oh
getting
no,
bullied
what
by
an
auto
auto
mod.
mod.
That's amazing. But yeah, that was my favorite. So crab was my favorite. Your favorite was the slaves. Did you have a particular favorite, Pyre?
Favorite fight?
Favorite fight?
Yeah.
Like one that stood out as like super entertaining to you.
I know the one you probably cried over the most, which was the lizard beasts and
The Grim
jungle.
Claws, yeah.
When you tried to be friends and then Joe smacked
yeah.
them.
I was so fucking pissed off. I was like, the one time I'm trying to use my stupid goddamn abilities to like commune with things, and y'all go ahead and fucking murder shit. That one I fucking screamed and cried about a little bit.
It's crazy 'cause I was thinking about if Joe had left, he wouldn't have been there at that point, and none of that would have potentially happened.
Right.
True.
Yeah, the whole universe would have been different.
Mhm.
Well, that's weird to
It would-
consider, honestly.
Yeah. It was screaming, crying, throwing up.
He
a
rolled
lot.
a 1, like, yeah, I was like, oh shit. Why right now, man? Why'd you have to do it now?
I was crying. I was crying. I was crying a little.
I could
on that
feel
one.
it. I could feel
It
how
was-
upset you were.
I was so mad. I was ugh. That one I'd probably be the most angry about. But otherwise, God, I'm trying to think what I would even like. I did
kinda
find
wish-
like the first one of the first fights, like with the doc, and like me literally chasing down that fucking tiefling and be like, why are you running?
Why are you running? Throws them in the water.
That one was funny.
And then like flaming foots the boat.
Oh,
Oh
flaming
my god, I loved Flaming Foot.
Flaming
That's the
Foot.
best.
Flaming
Mhm.
Foot was pretty.
Can I
fucking
be a
iconic.
firebender? She asked.
Can I be a firebender? I mean, like, I know the spell is technically
Yeah.
like it specifies hands, but like, there's no practical reason why it has to be the hands. It could be the feet.
I mean,
Surely you're dexterous enough to use your feet.
there's argument to not having it be feet, but I'm more of a funny guy. Because like
We love the
you have
rule
to
of cool
do
DM.
hand motions. You have to go, Naruto ninjutsu to cast a spell. And are you doing that with your toes? Probably not.
Yeah.
Pyre
Look at
can.
Absolutely.
Here goes.
the
I
same.
can it up. Surely I can do that shit.
Yeah,
Sure.
Pyre doesn't wear shoes.
Is
Her
this-
toes are out.
Wait, is this actual canon? Pyre doesn't wear shoes?
No,
Did we do this?
Yeah.
Pyre wears.
Neither of them do,
Wait, we
by the
did
way.
that.
'Cause when
No.
I was going back and looking at the original description of Mads doesn't wear shoes either. It's
I wear
just me.
shoes.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
the normal one.
I'm
No,
pretty
you
sure
wear the
Pyro-
covering like Toph. You wear the.
That's right, because we talked about it during the burning
Oh,
feet
yeah.
situation.
Because I feel like I remember now. Because I remember like when I was at first like making the visual for Pyrie, I was thinking like she would have like some type of boots on. But I'm like, I feel like because she grew where she grew up and who she grew up with, she has a distaste for restrictive clothing and things.
I
So
mean, I have no
she
idea why you
When
would think
Pyrie had
that.
to get a dress.
and she said, absolutely the fuck not.
I'm a cat now.
I want
Wanna
a
be a
collar. Fuck
cat.
that.
Yeah, Kylie would rather deal with just a collar than have to deal with a dress. Blech. No.
Bro,
That
the
is.
catchphrase of that whole arc. I'm looking for my cat.
Oh my
My
god, it
God.
was.
I'm looking for my cat.
Yep.
Literally, even Joe had to go through that. Have you seen a cat?
Yep.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen
that's
a
where we
cat?
picked up Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you.
how
When
we
you
got
went into the
Joe.
greenhouse and
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
picked him up at the party because he was assigned to you.
He
Because
was our assigned guard,
you guys kept
right?
getting into
yeah.
trouble, and they gave
we were
you
being
the baby
harassed.
guard because he
Because
can't guard proper, and then you took him.
We're
Yeah.
like, he's
fine.
ours now.
You took him. You've
And then
given him existential crises after existential crises. Like the fact that he is not curled up in a ball.
That's life, man.
He's doing so good.
Yeah,
we've corrupted him
he's
just a little.
just a tiny bit. It's fine.
What do you mean? He's a man. He's
I
grown
mean,
up. He went from a boy to a man.
he did age up twice. Did all the
He's like
Yes.
25 at this point.
He's had so much time magic shoved down his throat at this point.
Yeah, poor baby. Like his internal age, he's in like his 60s or whatever we're calling that Christmas dream episode.
He went
Oh yeah.
straight old man. Oh,
He was like really old after that one, that withering like crit or something, and that's why I flung him across the room because like my baby's a fucking grandpa.
And then he put
what
the
a
hat on,
time.
and then like nothing's happened ever since then. But I
Yeah,
always
that's
think
kind of
about that.
weird, huh?
Always,
That's kind of weird, huh, Mr. DM?
Yeah, that's kind
I
of
hate when
weird,
you say that.
guys.
I hate when you say that.
How much trauma can I put onto you guys? Just be like, that's weird.
A lot, because I'll do it to myself. I think some of the most awful things. Oh no.
Do you guys have
kissing.
theories? Is my next question. Like on any particular
lot.
thing? Because I would love to hear the theories.
Mm.
What would you like to hear my theories on, Mr. DM?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay. Like I want to hear all of them because I'm interested to see what you have gleaned, like what stands out. But if I had to pick things that I would be very particular about, let's say Mads and the goddess and like that bits of story, I would be very interested to hear what you guys think of like where Joe's at right now, the state of the Echoing Isles as a whole, um, that stuff.
Mm.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of that kind of leaked into your lore as Mads. So
Mhm.
take it away.
Well, so my theory with what's going on with like the goddess, which all kind of ties in with the questions you asked a little.
Yep.
I fear that, well, I feel that
I fear.
the Echoing Isles is being corrupted in more ways than just slavery, whether that be on like a, Mount Olympus, fucking Hades is storming up there.
Right.
The
Something is
Titans.
messing with the gods, or some existential crisis. And then I feel like it all ties together with the slavery as well as eventually going to happen with Pyrie and her lore. Because I know that in a few of the visions I've had, there's been mention of the trees and the fruit that Pyrie has talked about and shown me.
Hmm.
Which hasn't really like I don't really have any connections to the trees yet, so I just know that they're somehow connected to Pyrie. But I do think that
Plants.
I do
Wax.
think that I will eventually end up figuring out what's going on in Eternia, which obviously is where a lot of this is like where I think a lot of this is like happening, where this
Mhm.
corruption is talking I'm talking about is happening.
Yeah.
With Eternia.
There's a lot of push for Eternia, of course, because that's very much a crux location.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in yeah. I'm gonna be quiet. I want to listen. I want to listen to this.
Additionally, I feel like Mads always has that mentality of like, I am trying to find the goddess, and the goddess is putting me in this position to find her and to help her. Um, and I feel like that is very much true still as the story has gone on. It feels like I'm kind of gathering the pieces as to how I can potentially come to her rescue
Mm,
or we help each other in some way.
interesting. I enjoyed this description.
Oh, that's a lot of bananas.
I've been working on it for a hot minute.
That's just about all of them, yeah. In fact, I do think that is all of them.
I just went and took them all out of our chat, put them in.
I think the only one we're missing is like the actual normie one.
Oh yeah.
The yeah. I can only hear your theories. I cannot comment on them, and that is difficult for me.
Right. Oh no. All right, Sunny, what do you think of the world at large? What's going on? What do you think's happening? What do you think's happening? You literally just got concussed and are
True.
I have
seeing
such a fun
great
time
death.
planned for this, by the
What do you
way.
think's going
Hurry
on
up.
there?
Her shit wrecked by a ring because she put it on because she thought it was shiny and pretty and went hee 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 hee
I
hee.
sure was waiting for
Oh
that to happen too.
yeah, nothing suspicious. Um, uh, my theory, or one of my theories, is that Mads' flower and my fruit are related to each other.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ooh, that's a
I
good
never thought
one.
about it.
Yeah,
Do you want to elaborate?
because we're
How
both,
so?
because we're both looking for extremely rare or hard to find plants, and knowing what I know of the general, like, Jesus Christ, how many things are you gonna add to this page, sir?
I'm
Sorry, I
I'm
just
just
saw
having
it. Screen.
fun.
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming,
You're
and they
you're
don't
playing
stop coming.
Minecraft. I'm playing. How many things can I shove in there?
That's what she said. Anyway.
That's
A
Liari's
lot of
favorite game
bananas.
too.
Shoving a lot of bananas in there.
So
Yeah.
And
related.
tentacles.
Ayo.
See the tentacles. Um, because Shy's character Mads and mine are both looking for extremely rare and not it's not easy to find plants. And knowing what I know for the fruit in terms of like the actual overworld's lore and
Hmm.
like how they potentially got there and stuff to where she grew up, like I feel like they would, be related to each other in some way. of like, or at least there would be a clue for potentially Pyrie, um, or find another like similar grove potentially. Um, though I don't feel like it's going to be something that Pyrie actually. I feel like if she finds one, like a tree or two, it's going to be like a, oh hey, you are not growing this right, and she is going to be a judgy bitch. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're probably related to each other. Also, fruit comes from flowering plants, so haha, hee.
Boom.
I have
Should
so
Pyrie
many
have given the
comments.
flower to actually given the flower to look at? Probably not. Just saying.
He, he,
I don't think
he,
we would.
he,
I don't think anybody's
he.
really been like freely relinquishing any of their belongings and or personal information. We are like
I know that
clawing
Mads
into it.
refused to let anyone like fucking like touch or really look at the flower for like the first 10 episodes. So he's like, no, it's mine. It's my precious.
Mine. My precious.
Exactly.
Mine.
You'll try to steal it from us.
Yeah, the only one who's really gotten to like talk to Mads about the flower, I feel like, is just Joe at this point, which is absolutely happenstance.
Well, there
And
was
it
that
didn't go
few
anywhere.
times where you asked the party, like, "Hey, do you want to watch Mads pray?" And they would, but then they would roll poorly so that they didn't see it or they were
Yep,
just distracted. So the only one
Right.
that was noticing was
was Joe.
Joe.
So Joe has so many purposes.
Well, okay, so if we're talking about strictly like the color changing thing, I was the first one to witness that inside of the hag's house when we were dealing with the potion thing because Joe and Pyrie were
Right.
knocked the fuck out.
So then you
And I
would
was
be
like,
aware of it. Yeah.
yo,
True.
that crazy color shit that just happened, your flower did that. Like, and that was the extent of it. And you're like, huh, that's weird.
Mads response, typical.
Yeah. Like,
Classic.
okay. Yeah.
I cast blindness.
You would cast blindness.
Classic Mads move.
You would. I'd have to think about how I would react in that moment too if you did that. I'd have to see if I'd have any sort of trauma response to that or if I'd just deal with it.
You'd have to see.
You're gonna try and convince me that Liari is not. No, you know what? We're
Into
I'm
sensory
not trying to
deprivation? Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
Yep.
I see, yes, but the way
Yes,
I think
but
about it is where it lands is it lands on like who has the control in this situation, right?
hmm.
So like, and it depends on who's doing it and who has the control in this situation and like if anything sort of, I guess, any memories get triggered is basically how I would think about doing that. Because realistically, I don't think just being plunged into darkness is enough. But I think it also depends on the situation. Because also not being able to see, like in the reverse, right? Like when we were fighting the hag and she went invisible and then I just didn't give a shit and I was like echolocating her ass. Like, can I hear where she's coming from? And I got pretty damn close a lot.
That fight was so funny.
So I
Just
don't
the
know. Not being able to
most.
see is hit or miss.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand where you're coming from. That
Yeah,
hag fight was ridiculous.
That one was crazy. That one by far probably had the most like flavor and layers to it.
I had a good time running you guys through the hag's hut too, with the forced emotional responses, which is very entertaining for me.
It was.
Anyway,
If I remember correctly, I think we got quite a bit of inspiration die through that as well for everyone full committing.
I think so.
Yeah.
It'd be real.
Something like that. So theories are looking good. I'm super interested. You guys have said things. You're on track. Is all I can really respond with. You're doing good. You're paying attention. There
Yeah.
are things happening.
Wow.
Well,
What were you gonna be real about, Sunny?
Hmm?
Sunny was like, I'm gonna be real. I don't know. Was there
I
anything more to
did?
that thought? I thought.
I don't know. I got interrupted, and then my brain probably reset. So, wow.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I mean, I guess I could kind of talk about what I think is happening, but
Well,
finish
what do
your
you
thought,
think is
Mr.
happening?
Ian. So I think I have the least of the three of us. I think I have the least world lore basis to grasp from
Currently,
because because Sunny was both incredibly active during World Building Wednesdays, and on top of that, her backstory is incredibly like detailed and specific and very like ingrained in how a lot of things work. And then like Shy also has a pretty detailed backstory that connects her to celestial things that are going on with the goddess, right? So not only does Mads have the sort of like ruffian thug background, but also the
the connection to the gods. Yeah.
Yeah. And me, I was just a guy. Like, well, I was a slave, so I am connected to in the sense that like, but like my life was shit for like ever and had no connection to anything other than just I was surviving kind of.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of like so I'm kind of just grabbing onto the bits and pieces that were fed both like high table and like just hearing the backgrounds of the other characters. So as far as like I think it's really interesting that Sunny thinks that the fruit and the flower are connected because I never really thought about that. Like I know you both have been wanting to talk to botanists about these rare plants, but I didn't think they were connected because one's celestial in nature and one's a tree that you feed dead people to. So I just didn't think about it.
The
So
A
that's
tree you
cool.
feed
Whether
dead
or not
people
that's
to.
true, that's cool, right? I was like, huh.
the fact
But
that you
definitely.
guys, sorry, you go ahead, finish.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So say the fact that you guys have just not been able to get a hold of a botanist, and it's not like yes, the first one was like a whole quest line, but then just nothing has happened, and you haven't talked to one, and it's cracking me up so bad.
Okay,
You
well,
would
yeah, the first one ended up not knowing shit, and the second one got stolen, and we couldn't resolve that because we burned it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
things
really
definitely
haven't.
did happen over there.
But yeah, and now they've just given up on botanists altogether, and they just went to the library.
Nope, they haven't been to the library yet. There's an
They're trying
encounter
to, I
there.
should say. They're trying. They're trying to go to the library. They've given up. And they're going to the library. But I was explaining to you kind of before this as well about how, especially with the most recent like Mads vision, all of the parallels to Pangea is really like coming through because when we were in the crab cave, we obviously saw the cave drawing map thing. That was like, okay, there was
Yeah.
one big landmass, and then there's what looks
do I
like an
have that?
explosion, and then now there's a bunch of smaller landmasses. And I was like, yeah, okay. Very Pangea. But then we got more detail just through Mads's vision. And the things that stood out to me were the fact that like society may have been more advanced before this happened. And then there was like kind of a clean sweep there when something happened and the gods were pissed off. Also, hold on, let me pull up the drawing because I think that was also interesting.
Yeah, I gotta put that up for chat actually.
I would love if you okay, yeah. But image in the center of the mountain has like a very clear symbol on it of that diamond, right? So there's like the diamond, and then there's what looks like these rays and these like elemental things. And then in the vision, it talked about how it caused all kinds of storms and like natural disasters and stuff to happen. So there's kind of that tie-in. And then on top of the fact that the symbology after the great world splitting, it just shows the mountain split in half, but the diamond thing is still there. And that's obviously on the bigger island, what we know is Eternia, which you have been guiding us towards from the beginning, because I want to go there because the slaves are being taken there, and Mads is going to want to go there because it's very connected to the gods, and probably Pyrie at some point is going to get pulled into that. So it's kind of like everything's going to happen on Eternia, but you've also set up the fact that Eternia is just a very deadly place in general, because there's essentially what feels like a curse there, whether or not it is, but it feels like there's a magical energy that is bad for you, where you go to the island and you do not escape the island and you die. But now there's this race that has learned to live there, which is those snake people, which fucking suck. And so they may also just be actively killing people on top of that. I don't know. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like,
Yeah.
that island scares me.
No, that's a great takeaway for Eternia and all the stuff around it. That means I'm providing enough information for you to have that. So I'm happy to hear that that's the case.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of also okay. The glowing red crystal. Okay, I'm just now. I've been like, as I'm yapping, I've been rereading this thing too for the details to connect it all. Glowing red crystal, probably the diamond. Oh, and that was the other thing that I wanted to bring up about the vision too, is where like Mads essentially like morphed into the goddess or whatever that entity was, but then that entity ceased to exist because it died to the crystal.
I could clarify
then-
that if you'd like.
That's well, can you? I don't know. If
I
you
can
but-
clarify that the entity. I can clarify that when Mads kind of zoomed in on Eternia and ended up back at that big white temple, that a being covered in a bright white light merged itself with Mads's body. Like Mads was incorporeal and became flesh when she arrived at the temple, like in her normal body. And this entity merged with her, suppressing Mads's consciousness.
That's horrifying.
Indeed.
See,
And-
I was
and-
getting.
yeah.
I started to get bad juju vibes from the goddess, but I don't want to say anything because Mads will just kill me. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, the takeaway is that Mads was, at least in the vision, able to rouse themselves just a moment before touching that big red crystal and disintegrating,
would've-
more or less.
Died. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the vision, more or less. But the exposition of watching the world kind of flow was very important in there as well.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
seeing
yeah.
the civilizations and the cracking of the.
Right.
There's so much. I'm so stoked. I have
There's a lot.
another.
It's really cool.
I have another planned exposition bit for you guys that's similar but not. You'll find it eventually. It's somewhere, but I'm excited to give you guys that. But yeah,
I will take anything that I am given because I love it. I think it's just hard for me to ask for it in my character because my character is so not connected to any of that woo-woo juju nonsense. You know what I'm like?
Ooh, juju.
I'm the guy that's just the guy. I'm just
well,
like-
my
Just
goal
the guy.
for
You're just that guy.
I'm literally just like tearing down the infrastructure of slavery and trying to find my wife. I'm just a guy.
just a guy.
I'm simple. I don't know.
during your guys' time in Melody Cove, because I can assume, at least for some extent of time, you will be in Melody Cove. Whether you stay there or not, we'll see. But there
I
are,
would hope we get to stay there, yes.
yeah, because it's quite built out at this point. Well, it's pretty well built. Anyway, there are definitely a lot of things to check out and explore and do here. There's not necessarily, at least that you're aware of, any large threats to the party as a whole. And I'm hoping that we can use Melody Cove as kind of a anchor point slash starting point for both the deep Pyrie and the deep Liari lore, and then continue on the Mads lore and kind of get you guys all on the same level. Because up to this point, like in every campaign, there's always a crux character that kind of gets the first arc.
Sure.
And in this case, it happened to be Mads. It wasn't really like I super planned that in the beginning. It just sort of flowed in that way. It was the
Mads
easiest.
drank the soup.
Yeah, it was the easiest to kind
Yeah.
of wiggle in. And so Mads got chosen.
Damn.
I drank the gold soup from the witches.
You really did. What a
Yeah.
time. What a time. I'm gonna drink it.
I just want
I
to tell you,
know.
I've been thinking about putting my a pedal in everything, and I finally did it on that episode.
If
At
you were
every turn I've
gonna
been
do
trying to
it.
I was like, I can do something with this lotus. I don't know what, but I feel like if I do something with it, something good's gonna happen.
I
That's wild.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future. That's all I got.
The
I don't know why,
impulse
but
control on both of you.
whenever you say I'm excited for the future and it has to do with D&D things, it makes me mildly concerned.
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome.
I feel like the DM is gonna punch a hole in my religion.
That'd be funny.
Why? Because your goddess is actually
What if
fucking
she's
evil or
evil?
something? Yeah.
I
I'm
will
telling you,
not.
she'd been giving me bad juju, bro. And then that vision, I was like, oh.
I'm not going to give any confirmation or denial on that. However, I would very much enjoy hearing how you would feel one way or the other.
True.
If Mads finds out that her goddess is actually in some way evil, obviously it really depends on the level of evil, I guess. Like if they're in the slave trade or they're corrupting people or they're hurting people, then it's gonna absolutely destroy Mads.
Yeah.
But if they're just normal and maybe not as goddessy as they may already presume, then I think that'd be okay. Just be like, oh, well, you're not as cool as I remember.
Amazing.
Damn.
Thanks for the
You should
subscription,
immediately
Zorlander,
put her
by
on
the
a
way.
pedestal for saving your
I
life.
remember is fucking funny.
The giving the DM full access to a god relationship with a player is so much fun.
That's true.
I had a lot of fun with patrons in a previous campaign, and so it's in the same vein as far as like DMing goes, because patron god's very akin, although they are not the same thing. But it's very interesting, kind of watching how you interact and speak with speak with and regard the goddess, knowing so little about them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm very
You went all
fascinated
in.
by it. It's really interesting.
I mean,
That's
the
it.
goddess won me over a few times because of how the goddess has come in clutch for a few things that we've done. So I too have prayed in thanks once or twice just to be like, you saved our ass. Very pog. Very
Thanks for
nice.
that.
Thank you. Moving on. And nothing, yeah. So I think Liari's kind of net positive feeling towards the goddess at this moment, but not
Net
fully converting any type of way, so it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I
See,
wish
like when
What
Jared
if our
doesn't
worldview
care.
might come coming down?
See, when I started making Mads, that was like my whole mindset is just like I would think that Mads didn't experience a lot of good things in their life. And so when they did experience something good happening and it happened to be somebody who had power, they just clung to it. Like this is like the first thing good thing
Oh,
that's come. Like surely this is it, you know?
Mm.
And Mads was always meant to not be that bright, which is why they have a 9 intelligence
Mm-hmm.
or
what's your
negative 1.
wisdom though? Because you're not
I think my
book
wisdom's kind
smart,
of high.
but wisdom being high makes you like street smart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know
I
not to
mean,
go into like that bar because that's a bad bar.
Right.
it's funny because Maz is only like a smidge bit smarter than
That Pyrie.
Pyrie is. Like, Pyrie's not that fucking bright, and we've established this. But
Yeah,
like, I think she has a with like
8.
the bonuses. Yeah, with the bonuses, she has an 8.
Mm-hmm. Liari is I think a 10, right?
Yeah, we all dumped our instat. I
Bruh.
just don't have a
Yeah.
negative on it. Everyone else has a negative. I'm just like flat rolling out here.
It's so funny because like anything intelligence based I throw at you guys, it's like, oh well, yeah, they're not gonna
That's
get that.
Arcana.
Does anybody have
True.
proficiency in Arcana? No.
No, Mr. DM.
No, but if I did.
Oh, one of
Free
my
wins.
favorite moments with Pyrie, I've talked about this before, but
Do it,
is
do it.
like when we go into that like that destroyed flower shop and we
Oh,
just keep rolling awful and we can't figure out anything that happened there. We just walked in, said, "Yeah, this place is a mess."
okay.
Yep.
And then Pyrie picked up a bunch of stuff off the floor and then we left.
Yeah, broke into the desk, stole a ring, put it on, walked out the door. Meanwhile, I'm screaming because I'm not there, but I'm like, oh my god.
Oh
And
my
we tried
god,
rolling so many times.
you
We just
did
kept
so
getting
many.
Yeah,
so
and then Ocean's
many
like,
low
fuck
rolls.
it. Detect magic. Surely there's something here. Proceeded to take shit, not know what it is, and then carry it on me / wear the ring for the rest of the trip. No questions asked.
Yeah, that was a good ring. It was a nice ring,
Yep.
huh?
Yeah.
That being said, 2 things regarding that particular situation. One, you never brought Liari back with you. Ever.
Nope.
No.
You never brought her back.
Nope.
So with that in mind, there was like 3 more things to find in that place that are
Oh,
irrelevant
were there?
now. But like
Oh
so
god.
much left.
The place is burned to the ground now.
I mean, it no
Probably.
longer matters what's in there because a lot of the information has to do with things you're already aware of. But like,
Yeah, the way you had to figure out a different way to get us that
oh,
information because.
oh yeah, yeah. Information
Yippee.
provisions is so funny in D&D because like, especially if you don't know where your players are gonna go.
True, or how
Yeah.
they're going to behave because it only took us 22 episodes to actually identify all these magic items that are really nice that you gave us so early on. You're like, here, have these really fun weapons and gear for free. And we were all just like, I don't know what that does. I'm not using it, except for Pyrie would have, but like, you know.
Right.
And we just now identified it.
You're getting there though. We're making progress, guys.
Is it progress?
Again, I feel like that has to do with the speed at which we've been running around because we have not been set in any one place longer than, like, let's just say 5 days up until this point.
Yeah.
So it's
And like this is Blaine. This isn't like Mr. DM, but like I hope you guys hang out in Melody Cove for a while so that like we can
yeah.
do things and give you guys more backstory and have larger amounts of time like go by where you guys can kind of bond a
Establish,
little
yeah.
more as well.
I'd be down for that. From the player perspective, I feel like we've been going in whatever direction has been more or less pulling us. So like if there's something to do, that's just where we go. We've been very mission oriented. And then if the world goes to shit, then we run.
Hunt.
That is what we have learned.
We're fugitives.
We don't
Bye.
try to deal with that. Right.
Yeah, we found out that people were looking for Pyrie, and instead of telling Pyrie to put something on her horns, we just didn't.
Left.
I think it was brought up at some point, and Pyrie got sad about it.
It was brought up once. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Pyrie's like, oh, my horn. She's problem.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how I've noticed we've handled things is like we aren't the best at like coming up with things to do on the fly, and we become very like mission oriented and just go from mission to mission. So if there are things that are actively keeping us in place, we will probably stay.
Yeah, I've definitely. So that's the interesting bit too, is I've gotten to like learn how you guys function a little bit better as individuals and as your characters.
Yeah, it's a loose term.
as yourselves and your characters, a little bit more, just a little bit. But I think I have interests for you guys here on Melody Cove. They haven't all been introduced. There's a little bit for Liari right now, just a touch. But there will be more for the whole group and then for individual people. I'm interested as well.
A few sessions, Zor.
Really, it really does.
6 months.
Just a few.
It's taken 6 months.
You never know how you're gonna react in an extreme situation. Like, oh hey, you guys are fugitives in a city filled with snake people who are trying to find you. What do? We leave.
We burn it down and run.
Inside
and
a riot.
I steal someone's boot
that now.
and I pee on them.
Yeah,
that too.
We don't handle it well, Mr. TM. We're not the people that are like, oh yeah, let's figure it out.
Yes, no, I don't like confrontation.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, I don't even want to get into those, like, unnecessary fights even for XP, or at least my character. My character is very much like, do we really need to be doing that, though? Like...
I had to explain to somebody...
fight slavers.
I have a couple of things. One, I had to explain to somebody recently why I do milestones and not XP. And I was like, yeah, XP is they just go genocide something and get a level. And I'm like, that's not okay.
Or we just won't.
Yeah.
Like, if we play how we play, our characters would not be level 7 right now.
Y'all would be level 3.
Right.
Well, no, you'd probably be level 4. It's fine.
Interesting.
I feel like experiences for your characters should determine when you level, right? Like, extreme experience. Anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing...
Like how humans grow.
Yeah, crazy.
And learn. And, yeah.
How I'm legitimately interested in two things regarding this, but the first one is, how do you guys feel about the painted blades?
That's what I was gonna say earlier, and then I forgot, dude. I kind of wanted to fight that out, and a part of me is really glad that you yanked them from us because that would have had larger consequences. On top of the fact that we probably would have gotten our shit kicked in if the other 5 had jumped in on that. And I don't think anybody would have come to our aid. I was trying to set that up to be yelling like, why are you attacking us? Like, how could you be like that, to see if like the bartenders would do anything. But now that we know in hindsight that they've been paid off by these people, I'm like, we would have died. But I would have loved to fight that out regardless. I would have ended them.
So it's safe to say you don't like the painted blades.
No, they're asshats. What do you mean?
Duh.
Okay, me as me, I'm intrigued by them, but like
And if
story-wise, I need to
If
die.
I have anything to do about it, they will be ass-ads.
Hey.
What does that mean? Like you're gonna skin
Evil.
their ass and wear it as a hat? What are you talking about?
What?
Whoa.
It was a cat.
What?
I
One of
heard
them has fur.
muffle.
Oh yeah, that's
One of
true.
them has fur.
I know, they're
can
really
literally, I can just, pirate
that fucking
things.
idiot.
Yeah.
The idiot who thought he was hot shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, the
Coming up
paint,
to Matt.
You know,
Playing
I
me
made
like I made this character and somebody's gonna fucking kill it and skin it and wear
I
it.
made the tabaxi and I was looking at it and I was like, I should not make this a tabaxi. I should make this anything else.
Literally anything else.
Which
Hard
follow
agrees,
up.
Verlander.
Oh, let me read Zorlander's thing. Yeah. You learn how they interact with NPCs. They wait for NPCs to approach them. Some people like the DM to tell them what to do, so for NPCs to give them prepared quests. Some players don't like to be railroaded, so the DMs have to have pre-made scenarios that are very moldable to any situation. I think he's done a good job for you. Oh, I think so, Orlando. It is a mixture for sure. Because it has been interesting. Because I never really know early on. Like in one shots or whatever, you have pretty much a set. You have to go forward. Campaigns are different because they're
Yeah.
you got to learn. So initially, I feel like I provided you opportunity to explore, but like I kind of gave you missions. Like, here you go, do the thing. However you like, follow the sleepers, and you did. You had one of your group infiltrated and became the best cat,
Yep.
True.
which still blows me away. That might be one of my favorite pirate moments, actually.
True.
That's cat.
Following up with the painted blades, because I'm still interested in. I'm just interested in how that'll happen if you run into them again. But secondarily, the interruption to the painted blades, which was obviously a member of the COC, and I'm interested in how specifically Mads, what Mads' thought process with the COC just being everywhere all the time is. Especially seeing as did not engage in Silversong at the docks. You're like, here's a letter of invitation. You're like, nah, fuck that, I'm out.
So, like, I feel like Mads would probably know that the COC was everywhere and that there wasn't any place necessarily that they weren't. So I think they knew that, like, getting away wasn't going to be easy, but I don't think they were expecting it so soon. At least I know I wasn't.
They're just everywhere.
Everywhere. And they just appear.
You definitely got clocked picking up Elias by a couple factions, so. Ooh, excited
What?
so
No.
much.
Yeah, you mean mug so hard, dude.
Oh.
Realistically,
Menacing aura.
The Nat 1 double mean mug turning into not mean mugging was fantastic.
You're not privileged.
We got.
Realistically, with the painted
other-
blades, though,
Yeah.
Liari's thoughts about how to deal with them was she doesn't like them, and realistically, she just wanted the little town's money back if she could get it, or she was just gonna beat them up and mug them for what they are worth, depending. That was the idea. Like, she didn't need to kill them. And that's why she stuck her foot out to, like, trip him when he was, like, approaching Mads like that. because that was weird as fuck. So it's just like, oh, that's an easy little like. But then he just straight up started swinging. I was like, okay, these people are short fused. Whether or not that was like actually how they were supposed to be, or if that was because we
No, they're short
weren't
fused
paid for the encounter.
At least he is.
Okay, fair enough. So that's what started the fight. So I think Liari would attempt to discuss it again if they were to meet outside somewhere, but it's probably going to end up being a bloodbath. Especially if they're going to short temper again, because Liari is going to be short temper. Because they're asshats. And they're idiots. And they're gloating about taking advantage of people. And that's just like a hard no-go. So,
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, they're definitely designed to be asshats for sure.
Yeah, so like
Mhm.
she wouldn't immediately attempt to kill, but if they're gonna start swinging, then I mean,
Fuck 'em.
yeah, that's XP. Haha.
Okay. Okay. I have a
Mhm.
follow-up question, not necessarily related to that, but one that just came to me that I thought of earlier and I forgot. Pyre specifically has some neat spells. Has at least
Oh,
one
boy.
particularly neat spell that was homebrewed and has not yet been used.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet.
Why?
The one time, the couple times that I was planning on using it, I kid you not, like, by the time it came my turn, because of initiative shit and whatnot, or like other people were doing their things
Yeah.
with interactions with characters, it just became completely irrelevant. And I was just like, okay, well, never mind then, I guess. Because that's
Do you
not what we're
wanna say
doing.
what it is? Yeah, do you want to say what it is? Because you could always like high table. You
So-
can tell us, but also in game. Like, if there is something combat-wise that you want to do, like, it's very natural for people in combat to be like, hey, stand back, or, like, get away from blah, 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 or...
No,
I
it's
don't
been
know.
like, during, like, because you know how, like, we'll take turns as far as just, like, being, like, if it's, like, during our actual combat turns, too. Like, I can't just, like, y'all are, like, cooking, and I'm like, I don't want to interrupt what they're doing, because it sounds like they're really trying to do something cool, and then I just be like, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens instead, and just, like, I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
hold on.
I got you.
I gotta pull up my thingy. Where's my
Your sheet.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to pull my shit up.
Da sheet.
Because so her homebrew spell is it also doesn't last very long. It's an extremely short spell. I
Okay.
think.
It's not overwhelmingly powerful. I think it lasts for 24 hours, if I recall.
Oh, it does last for 24 hours. My bad. I'm looking at because you put spell usage 1 minute.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's annoying how it functionally works.
Okay, but
it
1 minute
takes a
is
second.
10 rounds, so if we're in combat, that's all of it.
Right. So like if it's like the spell lasts 24 hours. I'm assuming spell usage is because I think when we said when you were making it plain that it was the casting time.
The casting time should be instantaneous. It just says a minute, and that's on me because building spells and shit in D&D Beyond is a little obnoxious. I would like to fix that. But yeah. So an instantaneous spell, but you can only have the one under control at any given
Right.
time.
So it's animate tiny dead. Choose a pile of bones or a corpse of a tiny creature or animal within range. The target becomes an undead creature and sheds its flesh if it's a corpse. You can issue general commands such as to guard a chamber or corridor. If you issue no commands, the creature follows you. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until its task is complete. The creature is under your control for 24 hours, after which it stops obeying any commands you're giving it. To maintain control of the creature for another 24 hours, you must cast the spell on the creature again. before the current 24-hour period ends. This use of the spell reasserts your control over the creatures you have animated with this spell rather than animating a new creature.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
So it's
animate that
very
tiny.
specific to, it's very specific to tiny stuff. Small creatures.
Yeah, just little like rats and things of that
Yeah.
caliber. So not
and one
not
of the
necessarily
things
useful
that,
in combat.
Yeah, it's not necessarily useful in combat. It's more of like a reconnaissance and or torture things. Ha ha hee hee. Because I was going to use it at one point during one of the torture scenes that we were having, but then
I don't like
that. Shh, it's fine. but then Anna had Larry doing some funny shit, and I was just like, and then I think we like almost killed him or something, and we got the information that we needed. And I was like, well, never mind then. And that was like, I think, literally in the beginning of us playing too.
Yeah, are you talking about the very first guy?
Yeah, like the very first guy and stuff. Like you were ripping into him, and I was just like, I had a funny idea. Yeah, I'm like, I had a funny idea, but yeah, something like that. You like crushed his balls or some shit, and I was like, I had a funny idea, but I wanted to see how this was gonna play out, and then you like essentially killed him and or his will to live. So
I physically killed him.
Okay, I couldn't remember if he actually died or if like
I don't leave very many people alive. The only person I left alive was that naked man in the bathtub that they got stolen, and then that was pinned on me. And I was like, bro, I didn't kill him this time. I swear to God.
One person you didn't.
I know this is when I kill them because then this shit happens. Like
the one guy.
Yeah, so that's but like I've had silly ideas and stuff, but it's just like anytime I've gone to like do anything, we either accidentally kill the thing or like it just becomes irrelevant because I can't really utilize it during combat unless it's already up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hard thing to really use.
Probably more of a storytelling tool or like a meme spell rather than like a combat spell, right?
I mean, I'll find a way to make it useful in combat. We're just not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same way that I use my cantrips that aren't supposed to be combat spells as combat spells.
Everything has application. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because realistically, that almost sounds like a daily upkeep thing that you can do if it lasts 24 hours, where like you could literally just take 5 minutes in the morning and like make yourself a little dude, and then we're either aware of it or not, depending on what you have it do. Like it could just be like a spy thing that you've had all along.
Like I thought about like whipping it out a couple of times, but also like
we're whipping it out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, whipping it out. I don't know. I just really haven't. I feel like I haven't had the right opportunity to really utilize it yet in the way that I would like to. So it's kind of just there.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not quite a familiar, so like its applications are quite limited.
Yeah.
But I was just curious because it's been 24 episodes we haven't seen it.
Yeah, every time that I went, I would go to like fucking use the damn thing. It was just either became irrelevant or it's just I really can't do anything with this right now.
Right.
The other thing that was discussed was the bigger, smaller.
Oh yeah, enlarge and.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had a couple of funny ideas to make Matt really tiny and then chuck her.
You sure did.
That's true. That was a thing.
Yeah, it was very funny.
You know how funny it's gonna be when you like have a tiny Mads in your pocket and you go to do something. Oh no, you guys
just throw her like pocket sand.
You guys go to jail
or
or something, and you just make Mads tiny, like the size of a mouse, and she has to go get the keys, which are the same size as her.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've had the idea, and Shy, tell me if you're interested in this. What if I make a tiny creature, and then you can ride the tiny creature into battle?
Oh my god.
I'm just
I have this
saying.
I have this mental image of me like riding a rat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like essentially.
That's quite literally what. Yeah.
I wouldn't say no to it, probably.
Amazing.
I might be a little
no.
peeved that you shrunk me to maybe smaller, but
But like, it'd be really, really funny.
I agree.
It'd be really
I'm not
funny.
opposed.
Let's go.
The chaos. The chouse.
So how's the short jokes going for Mads?
Oh yeah, where's that counter, Mr. DM?
We should have that. We should have that as a counter.
Honestly.
Exclamation point short.
They are coping.
Dude, at some point, like, just the floodgates had opened because I don't think anybody was really doing or saying anything about that. And then as soon as one joke was told, it just all hell broke loose, and it's just always about Mads as being short now. Like,
True.
It's so true. First it was a trickle, and now it's just a stream.
no.
Kissing? What?
What?
I don't know. You said it was just a trickle, and now it's a stream, and that was just a very interesting way of saying that. Okay.
Yep.
Water?
I don't know.
We're streaming
Okay,
right
a lot
now.
of pee jokes are made here, so I feel like it.
That's true.
We
I
make
was
a
not
lot of
intentionally making a
jokes.
pee joke, but if the shoe fits.
Do I need to be reminded of something? What do you mean we make a lot of pee jokes here?
Just in general, I don't know. VTubers and piss and feet.
Feet.
That's it.
Mhm.
Eat. Yeah,
Frickin'
piss
feet.
real. Yeah, I don't know. I would really like though, like if we can get established here for a minute and try to really like get a grasp of things in the larger, wider world and establish like connections and have more team bonding. I'm so excited for
team
team bonding.
We really need to team bond.
It's
I
like
mean-
we've had little moments here and there that makes our characters at least like each other enough to stay together.
It's true.
This is true.
But we're still strangers. Just hanging out for about 3 weeks now. Vibing.
We all just kind of
Team
grouped together
bonding.
and we're like, this is really not that bad.
So, with that in mind, I have a couple of like thoughts with team bondage.
Yeah.
Lol.
Team bondage.
I come back and see Morta's been cooking on the background. Yep. Just
Yeah.
been adding things one at a time.
He's having fun.
I guess my question for the group
Yes, it
is like, what kind of team bonding are you looking for? Like, are you looking for like festivals, or are you looking for like, God, we're gonna die if we don't team up?
I think it's more of just experiences together, like going shopping and actually interacting with each other. Like a date and talking, because so far it's been, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Larry, stop sleeping with everything.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do
true.
that.
Larry always leaves us to go across the room to talk to a girl.
True. This is true. Larry leaves us all the time.
I
Unsupervised, which is why me and Mads,
bondage.
which is why
And
me
y'all
and
said no.
Me and Pyrie have so
Look
many
it.
food stories because we eat together.
Yeah, we eat together, or we've gone like hanging out and stuff and shopping together. We looted that place together. We've had experiences.
Yeah.
Is Larry there for them? No. 'Cause Larry
Whoa.
leaves us to go on dates.
Or they bring their date with us.
Yeah,
And that's
and
even
then we're
worse.
just like, yeah, true. They bring the date with them, and then we're
Oh,
like, well, this was not supposed to be a group date. Okay.
I
No, but
love
that's
that.
actually genuinely good to hear, though, because hearing that high table, I can try and like wiggle in something, especially if it's like mentioned in game, like character to character. They're like, "Can you like stop bringing your side hose places?" We're trying, but like, because the way from Liari's perspective is she's tried to bond with you. She's tried to talk to you. She's tried to like reach out and be like, so hey, what was your life like, and has been shut down repeatedly. So she's just like, okay, well, I trust you enough to party up, but like nothing's happened there, so I'm gonna go do my thing and like doing my life stuff. And then when we need to work, we're colleagues, we're work colleagues, like everything else got shut down. So like it's interesting to
Like,
hear that
second,
like from your perspectives you think you've been trying because you're like, oh, let's go shopping, but like I don't care.
I
By
feel like,
I mean Liari, right? But yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, because if I give it some thought, I think early on there was a bit of like,
I feel like anytime like Pyrie has like gone to say or do different things and stuff, like when she's like occasionally asked a question and she like gives a very Pyrie like response, the immediate response then from everyone else is, well, we're not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. Moving on. And then there's no follow up whatsoever of like, let me
Because
ask
you've
further.
thoroughly scared us. You have thoroughly scared us.
And so Pyrie's just like, wow, like she doesn't understand humans and like how to interact with shit normally. Like she's either like really chipper and excited about something, or she's simply murder mode because protect. That is it. That is the objective.
Pyrie's lack of socialization is showing.
Like
I think
she's
that's
been
like all
socialized
of
to a
us,
point.
though,
But that's
right?
it.
Yeah, so like Pyrie has the social awkward of like grew up in cults. Mads
Created a
has the
cult.
social awkward of Mads has the social awkward of I don't like people, but I'm trying to be nicer now. And then I'm like the hypersexual, like extroverted, like let's exist, and everyone's like, no. Let's not do that. So this is why I think it's interesting to talk it out, because like I think it's gonna be a high table sort of like team effort to get our characters to bond, because like anytime something small happens, I'm like, it's a goddamn miracle, holy shit. Like the one times Mads like was nice to Liari.
Right.
That was so, I was like, oh, it saved me from alcoholism. And like when I saw Pyrie share the fruits with the captain guy, and I was like, oh, those are good things. I thought that was gonna kill him. And so like learning to coexist with Pyrie's like eccentricities through other people being braver than she is. She's not that brave. She's like, oh, I don't know about that one.
I will say, from at least from my perspective, as I watch you guys play your characters, I think you currently are playing them very well. Like you're playing each one to their their backstory, their profile, their personality. And I think that because you've been doing that, it has been a very like natural progression into inter-party friendships that have begun to form very naturally, rather than it being like a forced thing. Because like getting the party to vibe is always a difficult thing, regardless. I mean, of course, like you're a party and you stick together and all that, but like I don't know. It's just you're doing a good job on it.
Like, our personalities and our characteristics are also different because you have
We're all so different.
You have two extreme extroverts and one extreme extrovert and two extreme introverts.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we all like different things and we all have totally different backgrounds.
And we all have trauma, but it's not the same trauma.
Yeah.
we have very
we can't even trauma bond properly.
My trauma is Larry's fucking dream. Are you kidding me?
I hadn't considered it, but yeah.
Like Kyrie's entire not entire backstory trauma, but like a good chunk of like things that like she remembers fondly, but also is just like fucking scarred for life because of how the succubi that like helped raise her treated her and like wanted to doll her up constantly and like, you know, teach her all the things and whatnot, and she was having none of it.
Yeah.
Like, no. Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just that, but that's Larry's dream, surrounded by beautiful women and just them doting on her. Yeah.
Yes and no, but yes.
That's a fascinating
she wouldn't say
takeaway.
Yeah,
I didn't even consider that.
No.
Yeah.
That's definitely not end goal though.
No, but like that's like I feel like
I wouldn't I jump in. I jump. I'm in danger. Fun.
For you, fun danger. For Pyrie, it is oh no, oh god. Turns into cat and runs away.
Yeah, that's true.
I love
One of my favorite things is all your animals. Yeah.
Yep.
I love all the animals you've turned into.
I want to be a
I like
horse.
it when horse.
That definitely did not influence the horse race bits on this island at all.
No, not even a tiny bit.
Not even a little bit. It was totally canon. It existed before. You know.
Before times.
Before the 4 times.
You know what I think will be a fun bonding experience for us is that we all latched onto the fact that Pyrie's a horse and that there's the horse racetrack and that we were all just like, oh, we're gonna fucking embezzle. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna take them for everything they're worth. I think that's a fun bonding experience, personally.
So excited to see that.
But yeah, I think Sunny hit the nail on the head, which is we just need to keep doing stuff together because it does come down to the fact that we're all so incredibly different and all of our characters are difficult differently. So like it's pulling nails, but it's nails that give like our characters their flavor, and we did it on purpose so that we could like love our characters. And apparently we just like really difficult characters. So, yeah, I guess just doing whatever. But I think probably more low-key stuff is going to lean to potentially more RP, right? Because I don't think we don't talk much during battles, and I think the part that's, like, missing from our bonding right now is, like, actually talking.
Yeah, so I think
but that's just
like,
me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean too. Just like actually talking and stuff and like interacting with each other in a non-combat like form. Because I know like Me and Mads have technically done a little bit of that. And like we've
Yeah.
had some bonding moments and stuff, but we
The
haven't
drinking
like
game, yeah.
yeah, and like us going like pilfering together.
Pilfering.
Like question mark. Like we've done some stuff, but we haven't done like a ton of things. But yeah, I think just having all three of us together and like all three of us actually being able to interact with each other will be good.
Yeah, we
Shopping
just
trip,
gotta,
shopping
I think
montage.
right. I
'cause
think of
at
like
some
when me,
point-
you, and Joe like all went to places in the festival. Like that was kind of a
Uh-huh.
bonding thing.
Yeah.
And then like all the times we bought food and like you fixed up my food for me.
True.
The pie
That did
eating
happen.
contest.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
pie
the
eating
pie-
contest.
The pie eating
Uh,
contest.
You
we
guys
were technically there
also,
together.
you know
yeah.
what it is, actually? It's becoming clear to me during this conversation. But, like, so every time Liari always, like, kind of steps to the side to, like, do the
Yeah.
job. And then Pyrie and Mads go and fuck around. Because, like, that happened in the Oran Ale Inn. When you guys had the
Yeah, we go
drinking
fuck around.
contest.
Yeah.
And then that happens because all the major heavy story stuff that like is the hooks right now tends to be about slavery, which is a Liari specific, no, like directly.
Right.
So it makes sense that Liari is engaged with that. I'd be interested. Okay, I'd be interested in how your guys' roleplay conversation goes with your backstory reveals, because you are starting to dig into backstory stuff, because there's only so long before you're really gonna have to be like, all right guys, there's been a lot of things happening and like we're connected somehow and this is what I got.
Right. Everybody throw your chips on the table. Let's piece this jigsaw together. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't been in like a desperate enough situation where we've done that.
Well, I
I don't
mean,
even
feel
know
like
if
we haven't-
Desperate's gonna cut it.
guys,
I
Like-
feel like it's more like there's so many other things happening on around us at each time that we don't consider doing that because we have to process so much information that we just learned. And it's just like, okay, next steps.
I mean,
Mhm.
there was that whole desperate situation where you were in a city where everyone was looking for you.
That was what I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah. Uh-huh.
and
And
then you
then I
left.
finally
And that was the
dished
first
out
time we
my
found out
map.
about the cock.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Talk time.
We haven't
Yeah.
had anything since then. How's that?
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's true. Yeah, I think everyone's touched on their past a little bit, but nothing in a super, I guess, in-depth way, because with Mads, we know about the goddess. We know the goddess saved you. We know now, because of your associations with Cock, that you used to be a bit of a scoundrel.
Scoundrel.
And you really want nothing to do with them. That's the extent of like but we didn't learn anything, because the whole reason why I was intentionally having Liari play dumb about the gemstone thing, even though me as Anna realized it was probably the COC. We were not told that, and Liari wouldn't know that. So it's just like, why are you freaking out
Right.
about these? Let's just fucking kill him. Like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? I told you I don't want anything to do with the COC. And I'm like, that was the COC? You know, so it's just like, it's stuff like that, and just like piecing those things together and being kind of intentional with what we tell each other. So that's what Mads has shared. Pyrie has shared that she wants to do the stuff with the fruit and it needs special fertilizer, and we're on a journey to find the special fertilizer and a place to grow this stuff. And
She's
now
just
we
looking
know
for,
that the
like,
fruit
a-
are not bad. Now we know the fruit are happy.
The fruit. Well, the fruit is.
That depends on the fertilizer.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
she
We know
knows
that high
she can
table.
get the fertilizer. That's not a problem. It's finding the proper growing conditions
Yeah.
Yeah.
to actually grow a grove, because otherwise it doesn't really grow very well.
Because
And that's what she's been looking for.
I know
Right.
me
And
and
we know a
Sunny
lot of
have
that high
talked about
table.
it.
Uh-huh.
In
I feel like
the
Huh?
fact that you've probably tried to plant things in different places and it never works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it either didn't take, or
Yeah.
it grew kind of for a little while and then it just didn't really work out very well. So trying to find what
Proper
it is that creates
location.
the proper growing conditions for it, so that way she can create her own grove.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, while we know that high table, part of me always has like the brain of like, but what have we actually been told in character? because
I think in
Tyree
character, I
explains the
told you
information
guys.
like caveman.
Hunga bunga.
True, but also like I'm pretty sure we had like, I think we had like a vague like sit down of in character, or like Kyrie had
Yeah,
like
you
explained
Oh.
like, hey, like I'm looking for the thing, and
It-
like
yes.
Probably came up after you got hunted for seeds.
yeah, I think
Yes.
that's like when, and
Yes.
she was yeah.
Yes. And then so we have a very like precarious grasp on that stuff, but I don't think we were told anything about your upbringing as far as like the snack you buy and
Mm,
all of that stuff. Like we don't know that. We don't know your
don't
cults.
remember.
But we kind of okay, we know that this is not your first cult, but we don't know what that means.
I think the only
It's like, oh, this happened the last time. And I was like, what do you mean the last time?
information regarding Hyri's upbringing, I think, was when you guys were getting fitted to go to the gala.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you refused to wear clothes, and we
That-
did not
that
push
was
you on
it.
that.
I think that's the main bit of info that was given, and it wasn't really
You're so right.
questioned too much. But there was a lot happening, so it makes sense.
You're so right. And then I did mention that I'm an ex-slave, and it has been brought up a few different times.
Yes.
But
In the very
that
beginning,
is
I
not
think,
deep in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I think is probably important, oddly enough, is the fact that I am a fuckboy, which I know nobody's gonna want to touch out with a 10-foot pole, but there's a reason. And no one's like really.
No one's found
I
out
don't even
why.
know how that's gonna. Yeah, and I don't think that's gonna be the hardest thing to bring up. I think because of how disinterested both of them are. But I'm not fucking people for the sake of fucking people. That's not the point. Right?
I feel like that'll probably come up either if asked or if another individual shows up at any given time.
Right. But yeah, so it's just kind of a lot of that, like, so we've all kind of very surface level touched on these things, but we haven't had that full on sit down, like, not to like fully use this, but like the girl talk, you know what I'm saying? Where we just fully like trauma dump, download, like, and now we're gonna be best friends forever. That hasn't happened. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
Look here,
considering what our characters are. But that's why it's been like such a slow, and then like Blaine said, like a natural growth, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Organic. It's very organic. There's nothing forced.
Yeah.
Like the situations have very naturally arisen where this information has been given in small little tidbits.
Yeah, like, well, I guess it's relevant now, so
but
here you go.
If the group needs like a big shopping and dinner date episode, we can work that out. I got a whole plan adjacent to that I could just
I'm down.
We can do that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna need to be told
I'm
to
down.
do that, but I'm down.
dinner and trauma
Just
dumping.
be like, Yeah. Just leave your hose at home. Like, oh.
We'll take Joe
Okay.
out. We'll just remove Joe from the equation. Would you? Okay,
Joe's
that's a
gonna
good
get white
question.
girl wasted on some like martinis and pass out, and then we're all just gonna be sitting there like, well.
Yeah, that actually is pretty canonical. But I mean, Joe could find another thing to do if that was like something that was just the 3 PCs, right?
I'm definitely still curious about Joe, but I can see it not necessarily being conducive to having him there when we all like drop our pants or whatever. Not literally, but for the sake of like, you know.
I mean, he's got a little one. It's not anything. Like, his whole backstory is he got picked up by these 3 crazy adventurers and forced into some insane situations where he had to question his entire, process of thought and what is good and what is bad. And it's a bit for Joe. He's doing good, little guy.
Oh.
He's trying his best. And we love him for that.
Yeah, I know, because you had to make that shit up on the fly. I know that, but like obviously we have this whole side plot goal for him, where we know he's got that girlfriend back home that we're gonna get him married if she's worthy. Like that is like a group, like the moms got together and decided, yeah, if she's worthy, otherwise there might be consequences.
I have a character in mind for his girlfriend that I've already started to really build out a little bit. I think you'll like her, but we'll see.
Wow. We'll see. Yeah. So that's kind of what I mean by like I'm curious by Joe, but I feel like we already have the kind of meat and potatoes of like what he was going to turn out to be, kind of. Just because he was made on the fly. I don't want to like drop him entirely. I did want to have his little like happy ending moment because that's cute.
His backstory will come up when you ask him more about it, or if it just organically happens. Like if you go near like his hometown or something, he'll be like, "Oh hey, let's go say hi," and it'll happen organically.
I would love if we accidentally do that, or on purpose. I don't know.
Either way, yeah, it's not complete because it really has not been relevant up to this point.
Sure.
But it's there. There's bits and pieces.
How do you guys see us bonding? How do you guys see this playing out?
Bonding
I
time.
think dinner date would be cute.
Yeah.
A dinner date.
Oh, I've already begun working out the mechanics and plans for this as we've been talking about it. So I also know how to get you there, so this could be good.
I love this idea of like me and Pyrie taking Larry for like forced fun, and then they end up actually having fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we tell you that you can't bring your girlfriend, and you're like, but Dad, I love her.
Oh, I don't know. No. No, I don't.
I really like her.
I really want to hit that later. Yeah, no, Liara would be totally fine if she was told, like, don't bring other people. If anything, she'd be rather enthused that y'all even want to hang out, because at this point, she's fairly certain that Mads hates her.
That's a fair assumption.
she's everything she's tried has been like shut down pretty profusely. And then with Pyrie, I don't know, it's like a neutral positive sort of. Pyrie likes being held by Larry in animal form, so that's something. We'll take that. Was throwing a bone.
True. Pyrie just likes being tiny animal and then being cozy.
Right. That worked. So yeah, y'all just inviting her to go do something would probably shatter her entire like view about how these relationships are going right now. She'd be like, "Wait, what? Friendship? Friendship? Friendship?
Friendship,
Friendship?
friendship,
Friendship?
friendship.
Fucking feral motherfuckers in here.
Yeah.
What
do you mean?
So
I
we're
was-
gonna have dinner and trauma dumping. That'll be the title of the episode.
We're gonna try. I feel like there would have to be like incredibly heavy drinking for that to happen, like borderline blacking out.
100%.
Because
I'm I'm sure we'll come up with something that'll encourage
oh,
interconnectivity between the three of you.
you could like magic the shit out of that, like magic therapy, like the giggle juice that got me a
therapy.
threesome.
The giggle juice. I can't even remember what I called it. I gotta go look now, but
I
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
remember.
there was a whole name to it.
Yeah.
The Siren's
giggle juice,
though.
Snicker. That's what it was.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I remember. I wrote it down. Yeah, I don't know, something like that where it like lowers our sort of similar to what alcohol is supposed to do, right? But that
Your
hasn't worked for us
inhibitions.
yet. But yeah, but like lowers our guard and like increases the
I
feeling
got
of
yeah,
we should
yeah.
bond, like need to share, like magically force us into a scenario where we would do that. That would be cool. Smiles. So I can already see it now. The oversharing something.
The oversharing aisles.
Okay, well that's the name of the episode for real.
The overshare. Hey, wait, I'm writing it down.
Take notes, Mr.
Write that down, write that down.
Written down. The oversharing aisles. Fan-fucking-tastic. What a name. What a name. Shopping episodes. If you guys have things you want to go shopping for, give me a list of things like that you would go in character to find. So, and I'll prep up a whole thing for it.
Ooh,
Like,
yes.
yeah, that's easy.
I got an
There we
I
go.
would probably just
That's
be
what I
going
need.
along with them. I'm a
Give-
I love it when
minimalist.
Shy has ideas.
idea.
The
Inspired.
last time Shy had a really cool idea, it involved torture, and it was funny.
That's
Yeah,
true.
always let them cook, because then I get
The-
horrified.
The not letting the guy take off the ring was pretty great. And then
Mm.
putting the pedal in the cauldron, which caused me have to take a break to kind of like move some lore around.
I felt so good being able to like tilt you off your axis a little bit.
Is
Oh my
it's-
god, yeah.
not even like I'm super on point all the time. Like a lot of this is like I just have plans or like bullet they can be moved around, but that was so far out of left field. I was like, ah shit, I'm not ready for that. Hang on.
I loved that lore drop too. It was so good.
It was really cool. It was I don't think I ever posted that short in the short stories actually.
I don't know.
We'll do it now.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? I feel like
Ever since we did the Magical Girls one shot, I have been very interested in getting something for Mads that makes them invisible.
Mm.
And maybe like one ring or something.
I would
No,
love
no,
that,
no.
yes.
No.
My Lord of the Rings nerd heart would be so happy.
Shy might explode if you do that for them. I'm not
It's
gonna
like,
lie.
oh my god, imagine if it was the goddess's ring too, and it like said something about, oh, that'd be, oh my god.
And it's just the goddess whispering to you the entire time instead of Sauron.
Oh my god.
And if you
It's
wear
just
it for
red.
too long, you go mad. You have to eventually do like Constitution or Wisdom saving throws from hearing the goddess just constantly whispering to you. And if you fail or leave it on for too long, she starts calling you like a little bitch. I think that would
It's
be
like that
really funny.
thing that we had fought
It's
in
psychic.
that
Aw.
like brought up the goddess, and I like tried to kill it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Thank you, Zorlander. That's super good. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah. What do we do?
Zorlander's announcing my anniversary stream, which will be
Oh yeah,
April
that's
11th through the 12th, in which I'm just gonna hang out and play stuff.
What a
And
good mod.
I know the best, right? Like he's everywhere. He knows everything.
It was funny earlier. You were saying, "Oh, hey, let me get my Twitch manager up," and I was like, "What do you mean? I'm right fucking here."
Ooh.
It's so funny because like everybody manages my stream better than me, so I just don't do anything 50% of the time.
It's us going, "Hey, you should do this thing," and then you being like, "Okay, I'll do it later." And then us go, "No, now
No,
we're doing
now."
it now because you will forget."
Right. We feed you
Uh,
tasks one at a time.
Yeah, we give you homework.
It's such a good time. I appreciate the homework because it does make me do things.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm excited. It'll be a fun stream. I don't know what I'm doing, but it'll be a good time. And hope any fun bits that come in will go towards Crazy Bill. Bills now,
Amazing.
actually, with the
What day is
water
this?
heater.
Yeah.
April 11th to the
Your water
12th. I
heater.
know days. Okay.
You know days?
You know.
You know
Did
when
you
days
wake
are
up
days.
and not know what day it was today?
No, I knew what day it was today.
Okay.
I woke up with my brain trying to explode from my skull today, so what day it was did
No.
not matter.
I was
That's
kind of
fair.
confused on what day
Fair.
it was, but I've just been working too much.
That'll
So I
do
was
it.
like, what day?
Yeah.
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 Work today or no work today. This is the
Pretty much.
standard.
That is the takeaway. Yep. I pretty much base it on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and I kind of have to keep track just for those particular days because it's stream. But otherwise, we're just gonna do things. So we got
Sometimes I remember stuff.
dinner and trauma dumping, or the oversharing aisles be the title of the episode. I have a legitimate question from a DM point of view, and I have asked this previously, but seeing as we're 24 episodes in, what is how do you feel about the RP to combat ratio? If it was a slider, would you change the slider? Would you push 10% one way or the other?
Nah.
Right now, I see it as like 30% combat, 70% are like roleplay stuff, and I like that a lot. I wouldn't move it.
Yeah. I like where things are now, I think.
Although I
Mhm.
do like combat, it's not my favorite part of the session.
Yeah, I get that. I validate that a lot because like combat is a great time, but combat all the time is not a great time.
Exactly, yeah.
Combat all the time, no bueno. But
Like
like
that one time?
sometimes. That one time, what?
That one time we played in combat for like 3 hours.
Well, that was rough, buddy. I'm so sorry. That was one of the first combats because I miscalculated.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I can't just be like, oh, these guys disappear.
Yeah.
Woo.
Ooh.
But we have
I
definitely
like our ratio
fixed
now.
it.
And I think it's hard to come up with interesting, different combat too, because at some point combat is combat.
Mhm.
I could be
Combat.
wrong on that. Some people might have a differing opinion there, but like I don't know. Sometimes it's more basic, and sometimes it has more flair. But at the end of the day, it kind of is like
Yeah.
doing the same thing more or less. Just so
Making it
I like our
more
ratio
interactive
for what
is
we do.
fun. Like the crabs were a little
liked-
more interactive than the slavers, for example.
The crab was interesting. By far, the most interesting was the hag's hut.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
was like top tier for me because yes, the fight and the combat itself was absolutely asinine, but it was like the puzzle rooms to get there
Yeah,
made
I
it
think
really
more
interesting.
environmental things are more interesting. Because, like, exploring and stuff and running around and being like, hey, like, okay, we can find objects and we can look around. But I feel like that was probably the most that we had that was environmental, like, based stuff. That in the plant. That
Oh.
plant with the wall. That
Plant with the wall.
that went to the snake van.
The plant with the wall that went to the snake. What? What?
The snake, the dude that we killed in the basement when we got Joe.
Yeah.
I
that
got you.
guy.
I got you.
That guy. What about him? What about that guy?
Well, he dead. But yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
he's so dead. And Matt's
No,
got
I
his
mean,
finger off.
I was just
Apparently
saying,
can't
like,
put it back.
because environmental things and having environmental stuff like that time to get down there is good.
Yeah. Having
True.
external forces you can
Fuck with.
use. Yeah. Trapping the monster in a vine trap or something crazy. Which is
Yeah, that
actually
was wild.
something I tried to incorporate a little bit more in the corruption one shot, but I after getting some feedback too, it gave me some great ideas moving forward for combat in future one shots and in the campaign. So like more interaction with the environment or more neat mechanics integrated into the combats themselves.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, like environmental things and stuff. I think in combat would be nice because, like, I can create environmental things. I know Mads, I think, can as well, but
Mm-hmm.
having things that we could, like, actually like interact with. When you're watching the cartoons and then that one thing looks kind of funny and you're like, that's different from everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's watercolored except that one part that's drawn on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like our ratio. And I think like the combats that are a little more planned, like mission oriented combats, can probably have that sort of like, I guess, flair to make our brain juice happy. But obviously the accidental fights we get in, like we were in the pub and then we saw some flamboyant bastards and then we kind of just tripped one and then he got his panties in a twist and started swinging. Like those don't need to be thought out that much, I don't think. But
No, they really can't.
But like,
Be thought out.
bigger areas and stuff, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like big planned combats, I can incorporate more into it to make it a little bit more broken up.
Sure.
I do to some extent try and make it so that your particular characters and abilities,
We're suited for the job.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it.
And I appreciate that because that's what makes it fun, right? It's like, oh, I have this thing that works really good for this one very specific scenario in particular. That's crazy, bro.
Yep.
That's a fun moment. Giving people their time to shine.
Because making the players feel like badasses is enjoyable. Like, I want you guys to be successful. If you fail, it's funny, but like, I want you to be successful.
Fail, it's funny. True.
You're right, Zerlander. It's hard when half the party wants more RP and half the party wants more combat. Luckily, the wives are more or less on the same page.
More RP.
We share a
focus.
singular brain cells, so like, it's not hard to be on the same page, but sometimes we end up in different books. So,
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's.
Our journey to get there is differently, but we get to the same spot.
I really like that idea about asking them what their most proud moment in previous games is, because that is very smart, and I'm definitely going to use that. Please.
Yeah.
It's very smart. Like, yeah, what was your favorite part? Because if they're like, oh yeah, there was this one time I like teleported and stabbed a spot the thing as I fell down, and that sounds cool as shit. Or maybe they just were able to convince the big bad to go on a date and they poison their food. I don't know.
Yeah, you speaking
you
from
rip their heart
experience,
out?
Mr. DM pulls out the weem that Sunny made you.
What?
The weeb.
Yeah. The weeb? What did I do?
Let me go look.
Remember when you drew the thing for Blaine's character in his thing where he accidentally rizzed the big bad or whatever, and now she like wants him?
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't even think she's a big bad. I think she was just
I don't know who
bad.
she is.
She's
She's
actually
just
not a
bad.
bad person. Like, as far as the campaign goes, she's our like friend, kinda sorta. She's a
But he
friendly NPC.
Yeah.
Not
And he
really
just
specifically big.
accidentally rizzed.
I wasn't trying to riz the character. It was a roll of 30 and a wink, just fun, and then it was taken the wrong way. And now we're here.
And now you're pregnant.
Could
Sure.
be. But all my children as a turtle are going to come out as a tiefling because I'm cursed.
Wait.
That's
Yep.
an interesting. Wait a minute. Go on.
Continue.
I'm interested now.
The takeaway is I made a deal with the second in command on the first level of hell. And making a deal with a devil curses your bloodline.
Okay.
So if you were to propagate, your child comes out cursed, and as far as it's concerned in Avernus, your child comes out as a tiefling or hell touched.
That's true.
So
Wow.
even though I'm a turtle,
Are you
I
still
will have
laying
a
eggs though,
tiefling.
or
I don't know. I think I used them up because I'm middle-aged as a turtle. So they
So
only live to 50.
Your eggs are dried up?
Yeah. That is the correct face, Sorlander, by the way. But yeah, my eggs are dried up. It's a good time. I am thoroughly enjoying that campaign. That is such a good time.
Eggs dried up. Enjoys getting pegged to no instead. Got it.
Hey, I'll have you know, I rolled a 21 on performance.
Yeah. You did good job for her. And I'm sure she called you a good boy at the end too.
She gave me lettuce.
That's funny.
And strawberries.
Wow.
And strawberries. You
You're
must have done
so
a very
in.
good job.
But
That's
yeah,
so fucking funny.
that's a good time. Not to derail our conversation about this campaign,
It was
No,
but
no,
yeah.
Nah, it was D&D
Yeah,
related. It counts.
I think there's enough railing there that it's on par.
Yeah.
Already.
That was good. Neither was my turtle.
Oh. He grew up in a big way. Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited for these upcoming sessions because I already have.
Me too.
I legitimately think I have at least 2 sessions worth of content kind of planned out at this point.
And now you have an extra week to plan additional.
I know, I'm actually really excited because, okay, objectively, like, I'm very sad we did not get to continue today and play an actual session. This has been super great, though.
My brain was
really
just kind of
enjoyed
happy
this.
that we didn't, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I fell asleep so fucking hard.
You gotta
Like,
go back to sleep
was
after we're
right.
done.
Like, just, what year is it?
But this has been good because we talked about this funny dinner date thing. coincidentally, I could really work this in with an encounter that I am actively before this working on. So I'm interested to see how this works out.
Cool.
Yeah. You guys have so much to do. There are so many things to explore. It's shopping
There always
episode.
is.
Tell me some stuff you
Yeah.
want to go get.
Yeah, first we have to get Sunny out of the coma.
Right.
True.
That seems important.
Probably.
We have to figure that out.
Mads wants to maybe get like new clothes.
New clothes.
Ooh.
What kind
Mad
of clothes?
We could do clothes.
I think
What the Pyrie want.
Pyrie would also probably look for not necessarily new clothing, but like maybe new materials or something to like do her leather working and stuff with.
Okay, I was gonna say materials.
And maybe like
herbal.
herbalism stuff because she has the funny kits and things. And I think she would highly appreciate some diversity.
I would love that.
Stuff.
That sounds neat.
Because she hasn't really had the chance to use it too much. So
Yeah, like kits in leatherworking and stuff like that. Depending on the DM and the players, some of them get really, really intricate, and others are like, "Oh, you have leatherworking, you can just make armor," and they just move on with their life. So
that's boring.
Exactly. So what I would do,
That's boring.
or what I
wanna
will do,
funny shit.
is I'll develop like a whole. I'll probably base it on something, but I'll develop an entire like leatherworking, herbalism table of like being able to do certain things or learning recipes to make certain concoctions or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be neat.
So if that's something anybody wants to do, that's something that we can also incorporate for your own stuff. Like even if you don't have a particular skill like leatherworking or something, if there's a skill you want to learn, you can pay somebody and go like learn that skill. It would just take in-game time. So you might be in Melody Cove for like, you know, a couple of weeks or whatever while you learn the skills basics.
Cool.
But yeah.
Liari is just gonna be along for the ride. Liari is not a stuff person, but is an experience person. So like things that accrue new skills or
specific.
The only stuff that she wants moving forward is eventually a ring, and I almost set that up, and then that's all fucked. So I don't know.
Yeah, you
But I
got
also
really
don't need
really
that
close
now.
to that.
I got so close. And no one even asked me about that, by the way.
Nope. I knew.
Wait, what?
I got you.
We just
People
moved
just
on.
assumed I was just gonna stick it on whoever and call it a day.
Liari was
the life of a slut.
was particularly interested in the jeweler that you guys got to know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
I did ask about a ring, and then she thought it was for Mads, and I was like, I
Oh,
don't think
the
she
ring's
likes
right.
me. She's like, oh, Mads, come on, this one's great.
Thanks.
Dude, Rosina, or whatever her name was, she was hilarious. She was a
she's
creature
so
and a half.
funny.
I think Pyrie would really love if there was like a hunting lodge or something, or some type with maybe like attached to some type of like taxidermy place.
So I will tell you, that place is built out with an encounter.
Yes.
You have to go there in order for it to activate. That place was built out because it was kind of mentioned previously The library is built out because that was mentioned by Mads. There's a couple of places that are kind of at least partially made out, but those two are fully encountered.
Yippee!
I'd like a brothel, Mr. DM.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Liari is an experienced person. An experienced person. Please make
Okay,
her a
that's not what I meant.
brothel.
When I said I'm an experienced person, that is not what I meant.
I
A
think it
big
is.
brothel.
I meant like actual, like learning new skills, like I don't know, pottery or like.
A
I don't know, pottery's kinda
pottery
sensual.
and
first-
brothel.
Yes, I can make anything. Like how I took a knot tying class, which is a beneficial skill, but also.
I would like to point out that Pyrie knows ceremony, and if asked to at any or has the funny idea at any terrible moment, can wed you. Smiles.
Perfect. I'm gonna need that. I don't know if you took that for me or if you took that just for haha funny.
It's part of a ritual thing. It's part of a ritual thing, so it's included in an overall like thing that she just knows.
Which is definitely why I asked if the wives were going to actually get married in game.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying, but
Yeah.
listen, I shot my shot and then I got shot. So,
Bro, I want
That's
breakfast.
true.
Starlander's also a hands-on learner, by the way. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So like, when we go shopping, I'll go, but I'm not gonna buy anything. Like, I'm not the person that's gonna buy anything. But if we go to like an activity, I'm down. Are we gonna go medieval bowling or whatever the fuck equivalent exists? Because it really just takes some logs and a rock.
Would that just wait? No. Would
Some
that just
logs
be
and a
like
rock.
dagger throwing or whatever?
I would be so good at that. That's not a new skill, but I'd be so good and I'd be so down. Like axe throwing, but daggers.
Yeah.
I'd be like, guys, look, like I think I can impress you. And then you're like, yeah. We've seen you do that. Like, we know. And I'll be like,
We know
"Aw."
you can do this.
Yeah, it just crushes the balls of my heart. Yeah.
I think if your heart has balls, you should see a doctor.
You know? You're
Just
not
a
wrong.
General thought there.
My congenital genitals. What are you talking about?
No.
No, you can't tell me that wasn't bars. Shut the fuck up.
If your heart has genitals, will you see a doctor?
What
Question mark?
what happens if your heart pumps too fast at that point?
An erection like everyone else. What do you mean? What are you talking about? We're going back to anatomy class.
Oh my god.
When the blood floweth. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
All
we are
right.
very activity oriented, but
Okay.
is not opposed to shopping.
So we find good activities
Good activity.
for the Liari.
Sure. Although if I see stuff, like if there's
Hmm.
listen, I don't know why this would occur, but if somehow we're shopping and we end up in a toy shop, then obviously Liari is gonna ha, but like no. Did that one fly over the heads? Okay, we got the giggle, so we have
No,
confirmation.
I was trying to think of some smart ass thing to say, but I was like, nah, it's just funny.
What, you're gonna take me to a literal like Toys R Us and be like, Mr. DM?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like an adult section, like, you know, like a Blockbuster back in the day, like the little curtained off side room.
Yeah, because we're going clothes shopping with Mads, and then suddenly there's exotics, and we're like, whoa. Yes, sir.
Oh, this has been enlightening, actually.
Has it? I'm pretty
I
sure.
think it has been. I have a little batch of notes just from this right here that I'm gonna refer
No.
to when I'm tippity-tappeting away later. I might even do
So
more
true.
tonight because it's so enjoyable. I have such a good time writing stuff, and like I've shown some of the plot to certain people, and they're very excited for you guys. So I'm excited to write more things, and then
Yippee.
inflict it upon you.
What?
Mhm.
But
Being inflicted.
it being inflicted, I'd say this final questions. What do we got? Let's do that. We'll round it out because it's technically the time frame. And
yeah.
then yeah, we've just been jabbering. It's been great,
We made
honestly.
it. We did it.
We did it.
Just been yapping.
I didn't think we were gonna make it to the whole time, but like we are still going. So like, all right, we're gonna have to start closing this up.
You got 3 yappers in one call together.
You know,
Amazing.
it really makes a difference in content.
Sure does. What's your last question, Mr. DM?
Oh,
Oh,
I gotta
on
come
it.
up with it. Oh shit! hang
Question
on.
for
I have
Mr.
to-
DM.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a question for Mr. DM.
Yeah, what do you
Because
got?
we
What
obviously know our favorite moments, but I want to know what your favorite moments are, and what are your most terrifying things that are currently
course.
with the players, with all of each of us. You have to name one
Ooh,
terrifying
ooh.
thing with each of us.
That's
Yeah,
solid.
true.
Okay.
We've all
okay.
made you flinch.
Yes. Whether it be something that you're afraid of for the future, or you're afraid of that you've already done, and you're like, that was terrifying.
So, favorite moments. The ones that I can just come up with on the fly here. You know what? I think anytime there's like interaction, like really solid in character interaction between any two of you, because it's like you just go and you're already familiar, like real life you're familiar with each other, and so in character you're able to just kind of play off of each other, and it becomes this really cool sight to behold, if you will. Like obviously there's the finger chopping bit, which was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, but there's also like the breakfast bit that happened between Liari and Pyrie, and then
Oh god.
like
Yeah.
it's always just really entertaining. Individually, I don't know that I could inherently pick a particular favorite without really giving it thought. However, I enjoyed the reaction that I got from Mads with the note from the COC. I found that hilarious.
Run!
Just nothing else matters. I'm out. Bye.
Time to go.
We gotta go. You don't know why, but just trust me, we gotta go.
And we're not going to the harbor. Stop asking.
I think any interaction between Bane and Liari was fascinating, because Bane's roles were wild in like everything I would think of that Bane might do. I was like, all right, if she rolls high, we'll do this. If she rolls low, and she always rolled the most obnoxious or like Liari-esque roll. So that was it was really neat. I enjoyed that a lot.
She turned into such a cutie patootie who fucking carried that whole like scenario of getting us the fuck out of the festival.
Yep, sure did. And
Yeah.
no one knows what happened to her.
No, I hate every time you say that. My like heart dies.
Maybe one day you'll find out. You know what? I take it back. That is the reaction that brings me the most like evil DM joy is when the player is like, "Ugh!"
Yeah.
My favorite Pyrie moment. Actually, I think my favorite Pyrie moment was when the Darius rolled very interested in the fruit and the horns and didn't like
Yeah.
judge Pyrie at
Mm.
all.
True.
That was cute.
Because
That
I
was
was
the catalyst.
legitimately, he was gonna come and have a whole conversation at some point. Like, we did not get to that point, mind you. But he was going to. So
Well,
Yeah, because she was just excited that someone was like genuinely interested in her fruits because up until that point, no one had questioned or asked her anything. They would just look at her and be like, "This bitch crazy,"
yeah,
and then
taking
that's
an
it.
interest.
Yeah, she was the first person to actually take an interest and ask her further questions about things.
Yeah, yeah. Terrified is the other half of this question. Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what is the
Mhm.
most
Mm.
terrifying thing that we either have as like spells that you're you're just like the use of you with this particularly, or something that we have already done that terrifies you?
I think the entire outlook that Pyrie has on life is fascinating and
Agreed.
terrifying.
Agree.
Agreed.
I almost spit my water out.
Because I think I have a handle on it, and then you say some unhinged Pyrie shit, and I'm like, fuck, I'm
In
not
like the
ready.
most innocent way.
Yeah.
Like nothing weird about it at all. Just
Nope.
like totally normal. It's a day that ends in Y, but this atrocity. And I'm like,
He played Pyrie so well in that context.
hmm Like I said to Anna, like some of the stuff that you say, I don't know how you say it without busting up laughing, because it's it's so funny.
True.
I feel like some of it too just comes from my own confusion of what's happening. So
Really
it
tying
just,
in.
yeah, it just,
It works.
I just say things. Be saying things sometimes.
I just be saying things on the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes things just pop into my head and I say them. And then Mr.
And it
DM goes,
works.
"What the fuck?"
At least once an episode, honestly. Like, I feel like it's standard procedure at this point. You'd think I'd be
Slightly.
numb, but I'm not.
I feel like it doesn't happen every single time.
No, it doesn't. Not
I feel
every
like
single time, but
there's some like key moments of Pyriness that really come out of her like psychotic, like weird life shit of just
such an interesting background. It's so.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait until you guys do the trauma dumping day. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
Okay.
so interesting to see how it like works out too, and how well each of us like leans into it, and how hard we.
Yeah.
I just remembered
Oh.
I did trauma dump, I think, on Larry. I trauma dumped on Larry when I was getting the collar because it was when they were trying to put me in the dress. And
Yeah.
Pyrie started going crazy mumble mode of just
Yeah.
like
Right.
That was what we
trauma
mentioned that a
dumping
little
of
bit.
what. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, so people, Larry at least knows kind of what some
We
of
know
the
you're
things.
traumatized.
Traumatized. That's just
Yeah.
that's the fun trauma. That's not even the good trauma.
Okay. Right. But yeah, what we got from that is like, oh, Pyrie has big freak out when clothes. Let's not stick Pyrie in clothes. This is fine. And then we just left it there. That was like it's like
Yeah,
we
it
drew
was
up a
bad.
boundary with like barbed wire, and we were like, cool, we don't want to bleed today, so that's good. That's fine.
And then Pyre became a cat and took a nap in the sun. So that was
What a
also when they
time.
got food poisoning, so that was really funny.
It was such a good
Yeah.
time to be a cat, though.
It was a very good time to be a cat.
Let's see.
Be
Favorite
a cat.
bits.
Who else has horrified you, Mr. DM? Go on.
Yeah.
Tell us why you have a hard
Yeah.
time sleeping at night.
Yeah.
I look outside. But
Oh
Yeah?
god.
I think Liari, justifiably, of course, but just the absolute hatred and dispatch without a single care of slavers is not
Oh,
necessarily
yeah.
traumatizing, but like
Yeah, I go feral.
damn.
Yeah.
I don't know that you've necessarily like terrified me in the same sense that Pyre terrifies me. I don't know that anybody else can match that.
No.
So
Not part of my character and not even something I'd know how to think about.
yeah.
My brain juices don't work that way.
But as far as that goes, like, yeah, I think that's probably about as close to terrifying, because Liari's not necessarily a terrifying individual, although she does not put up with a lot of shit.
Yep. That's true.
True.
I'm 0 to 100 on everything. I have like a work switch that flips back and forth between work and play, and then I have the anger switch of like, I'm cool with you. Oh, you took my son? Oh, you're gonna die today.
Yo, they kidnapped Joe and they got
that's it.
slaughtered. That was a great time.
Yeah.
True.
That's
True and
Uh,
real.
For
That's all there is.
terrified.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? What took me for a turn was the scene with the snake guy,
Yeah.
because he like broke his fingers, if I recall, like one at a time.
Yeah.
And I just
Oh, yeah.
wasn't prepared. I was like, wow, all right, here we go.
I'll be honest, there's been a couple of times where Shy does something with Mads, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you right now. Because it's something Pyre would 1000% do. Just very nonchalantly, just like breaking someone's fingers.
Like,
I was like,
for
oh my
me,
god.
Mads is like they were a bad person for so long that sometimes they just slip back into their slightly evil, contorted ways.
True.
Slightly evil.
Yeah,
Just a little.
I'm so individually for each of you, like, I am so interested in when the backstories and arcs kind of collide and things happen for
Mhm.
each particular character. I'm so excited. Like
Me too.
I can't even talk about it in depth, but I'm so excited because I have a bunch of Pyre stuff done, and I'm excited for that. But the Mad stuff has been getting done for a while, and I'm really excited for when the dots get connected eventually here.
I feel like they're right there, like there's a lot of moving pieces with that.
You guys are so close to having them connected. They're right there. You have almost
Mhm.
everything you need.
I think it's also the intrigue that we've kind of been stumbling into it, and that's mainly because you've
Mhm.
guided us so well, because we don't know necessarily what we're looking for even, but we've been thrown into enough scenarios where it was just like it was thrown at, or the opportunity was there, because obviously the stuff through prayer, that was like you just playing the waiting game on the dice, but like
That's why it was
Yeah.
bullet points. I was just like, she hasn't done this for an episode or two. I'm probably fine. I could probably push this off. I shouldn't have pushed it off. Bullet points. Let's go. But yeah, the being able to roll for God in inclusion or interference or talking or whatever, like It's really good. But you guys are so close. You have so much information. I don't know how long it will take to connect the dots because I'm not sure. Depends on where you get the info, but you're right there, and I'm excited for it when you do. Or at least this particular bit of dots, I should say.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited
curious.
to be a knower.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna leave us on this. I'm really excited for when Mads learns lore. I'm just gonna call it lore on the goddess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like,
Ooh.
yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah.
And then we can kind of get our alignment radar going. Not that we're playing with alignments, but like in general. Because we're all morally gray at best, let's be honest. But
That's why I don't think alignments really apply in
we'd
in
be
many
nerfed
cases.
so hella hard if we were doing alignments because we fluctuate so heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's just what it is to be a person, right? You have
I think so too.
different varying, like, oh, that's okay, that's acceptable, and that's not acceptable. That's entirely dependent on the person.
Real. Almost as good as rolling for panties. Dude, I fucking rolled a 20 on the bot today, and I was like, that could have been my panties.
Could have been.
Damn.
Sad.
Sag.
Instead, I'm just a pretend mod. No, it's fine.
I gotta implement that auto remodder thing that Ford was talking about.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. In any case, that's a good ending point. I think we have done so much talking about this, and it's really exciting to. It's very exciting and encouraging to hear that you are all enjoying these sessions and the story and looking forward to the next one. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yas.
So, on that note, we're gonna go raid. We're gonna go raid the game master Eric, who is just started a brand new campaign. They are on episode 1.
Oh.
How does it feel to be episode 24
Kind of surreal.
and be like, oh, that they're starting a whole new campaign?
Like, we've really been doing this for a long time.
Every
Yeah, we have.
Monday, man.
Every Monday-ish for...
There really hasn't been many Mondays that we've even skipped.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think we've only
Nope.
skipped maybe 1 or 2 at most. But yeah, half a
I
year.
think
And I think we did a
Yeah.
make for it too, because that one week that we doubled down, did one on like a Friday and then back again on a Monday or something.
Oh yeah, we did. So we didn't miss
Oh,
one
that's
technically.
right.
I think
Yeah.
we've just been so regular with it.
Hi, Bake.
Yeah. This is, I think, the first week that we've been like, but what if?
But what if
Yeah,
we just
instead.
kind of skipped it, but kind of not?
Yeah,
this
we
is
streamed.
just the... Yeah, this is just the...
Recap episode.
Yeah, the recap episode that you get with every anime.
The interview with the cast.
Yeah, the interview with the cast, or like the weird in-between shit where it's just like, why is this actually an
Oh
episode again?
shit, we're going. Bye everybody.
Okay, bye.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
Stay bold.
I just looked up and saw the timer was like at 5 seconds. It's like, oh shit.
We can
Yeah,
This
just
is what
really.
yap
happens
for
when you have
hours.
yappers.
Yeah.
This is how we ended up
Gotta
here.
yap.
What a good time.
I think I found a